Who remembers what the hell happened last session? Last session, you all took notes. I watched the recording, and the first thing was Nas said, I took notes. And Michael Mosky said, I watched the recording. So what the hell happened last time?
I did not watch this recording.
Come on, dude. Why is my drive so slow?
All right. Oh, you have notes? You have notes on Drive?
Yeah, of course.
Google Drive?
Yes.
Who the hell remembers? Come on. Is it only Nas? Is Nas the only
I don't
one?
remember it at all.
You don't remember it all? What did you do, Darren? What did you do last session? What do you remember about you?
I remember flying around and chasing Fabio.
I think that was 2 sessions ago.
Yeah, those
Oh, 2 sessions ago. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You talked to
Come on,
Nas
dude.
Theratrix last episode.
Is that when I tried to hustle him for...
Yeah, you tried to hustle the man who literally like owns you on behalf of the Empire. You tried to hustle him for 2,000 gold a week. You told him you needed an allowance to hunt the
Was that the
barrister.
last session?
That was last session.
Apparently, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was last session.
It was like longer ago than that.
I mean, it was probably like 3 real weeks ago.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened. You tried to hustle the Nas Theratrix.
What led me up to that? Like, where did we come from? From capturing Fabio?
Wait, he's got his notes.
So-
Go ahead, Nas. You got this.
So we played on 222. We at the beginning of the session teleport to Agorian. We stuff Dern in a bag because we were out of because we didn't have enough teleport power to get him there. So we teleport to Agorian. We go to the Midnight Temple. Nero tries to find Azenio and fails. We stop at the line of peeps still signing in as Thrune agents, and he asks who to give information about movements on the Glorious Reclamation to. They direct them to Batzel Hoon. Joe actually remembers at this point that Vors is blind. So Batzel Hoon's a mid-level bureaucrat in the temple. He's always fighting for jurisdiction with other Hell Knight orders. The Scourge specifically, he does not like the Godclaw. Nero hides the fact that he's a part of the Godclaw. Batzel's impressed with us, and we inform him about Remisiana. Iwin fluffs Nero's powers. Nero mentions Cantario. Batzel's interested in this, and Vors is realizing that Batzel, who's a conspiracy theory nut, is going to conspiracy theory out of control, so he cuts Nero off and we bail. And he tells Nero, like, hey, man, get your shit together. This is what's going on with that dude. You got to be more careful with what you're talking about. Iwin contacts Tialan. The Glorious Reclamation assaulted Longacre and stole a bunch of Fex's books telling the town that he's dead. Iwin left a note and teleported to Dicarium to meet Tialan. She and Tialan meet. She runs everything down. Tialan shows understanding of what they're doing and why they raided Fex's manor house. He runs down about the knights coming and raiding. He hightailed it right then because he didn't want to be caught up if they decided to look at him too closely. The mark that Iwin assumes an angel made on her is more high-powered than the angel should be capable of doing. Tialan's pretty troubled by it. Billy Witch Doctor's mark is on Iwin. It's allowing the monster access to Iwin, and he's sort of surprised that she let this thing put a mark on her. He's unclear if it can be removed. Dern checks in with his handler. The handler is aghast at Dern's impertinence and demands, and tells him, like, you're a slave. You don't, what, $2,000 a week? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And basically tells him, like, you're a slave. You do what I tell you to do. Vors gets a package and notes. Nero goes through it for him because Joe remembers that Vors is blind. The package has information from the Ministry of Agorian. It goes over Vors' family in painstaking detail, like a creepy amount of information about Vors and his family, and Nero basically gets a catalog of who Vors and his family are. Iwin, we go back to Tialan fails to remove the curse on multiple castings, and Iwan's pretty worried about it, though he is able to remove Billy Witch Doctor's mark. So there is that, and that is all I've got.
I feel like that's everything. Yeah, so Iwin is a day ahead of everybody. She's on Monday morning. Everybody else is on Sunday at noon. And just building on what he said, yeah, so the interaction with Batzel Hoon is interesting because, again, Nero knows he's like a conspiracy theorist and all these things. And you basically outlined the fact that you were at 2 places where the Glorious Reclamation had, like, uprisings. You basically admitted to being at 2 of those places. 2 of the 3 or 4 recent, happenings. So he, like, Vors picked up on the fact that Batzel, even though he didn't know Batzel Hoon was a conspiracy theorist himself, he kind of picked up on the fact that this guy seems very interested when you mentioned where you've been and all the things you've been talking about. So he kind of shot you some glances and told you after the fact that, hey, shut the hell up. Like, you're saying way too much. And you got out of there. But Batzelhoon did seem impressed with you. He did say he would basically run it up the chain with the church and with the court. And that's pretty much where we left it. So Iwan's not here, Jeff's not here, so we basically need to catch up to Monday morning and hopefully not take a whole session doing it if we're lucky. So let's just say it's like 1 p.m. It's like a little bit after lunchtime. So Dern, you were not with the party when they talked to Batzelhoon. You were talking to Natheratrix.
Okay.
Novelly doing dishes and all.
My wife is making a martini.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. So basically, you spent a couple hours at the temple talking to Batzelhoon, and Dern spent a little while talking to his handler. So let's just say it's like 1 p.m. now, and you're all free to do whatever you want to do. What's happened? Did you already go back from the temple to the what's it called, Lawgiver's Rest to get the package? Did that happen? Is that how you got the satchel for Vors? Nice. Yeah, I assume I had that, because you teleported there, so yes, correct. So you went to Midnight Temple, you went back, so you're at Lawgiver's Rest, you're reading Vors all the documents, and Dern shows up. So now we're there at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, Dern shows up after talking to Natheratrix and not getting 2,000 gold a week. And what do you guys want to do?
I'll go to Vors and say, like, whenever you're ready, we should go stalk that lady.
All right. I mean, sorry, I'm really out of it right now. No, yeah. So, I mean, I think it'd be better if I just went alone. I'm not sure. I mean, you can tail if you want, but make sure you keep a lower profile than you did last time.
Dern,
Okay.
why don't you, me, and Bob go to a nearby establishment? We'll keep an eye out, and Vors can signal us if he wants us around. Sound good?
What does Nero know about this? So Dern just said we should follow the girl. Did you tell them anything about this, Bob, Dern, and Vors?
I would have spoken freely about it if Vors is around and everyone is around. Yeah, I wouldn't filter.
Okay. So Nero
Dern
does
knows
know that you're
that.
stalking the barrister, supposedly?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, then yes, go on. Sorry to interrupt.
I only brought it up because I figured that would be the case, that it would be he ran his mouth. Anyway, does that sound more akin to something you'd be interested in, Vors?
It'll probably work out better that way.
That works with me. I already got found out, so if he takes it over.
Fine. And I need to stop by Quartermaster at some point. Maybe we'll go to this place, which is nearby to that place, and we'll keep an eye on the door, and you can signal us when you're leaving if you want us to follow you.
Sorry, where are we going?
I'm substituting in a lot of like, hey, this place that we all know about because it's really.
So are you planning to stalk her? So Vors has a dinner date with her at 5 p.m. It's now 1 p.m., so you've got like 4 hours. Are you saying you're going to hang out near the dinner place, or because I think they were planning on stalking her earlier?
Oh,
Well, let's just do the dinner place.
Oh, Vors was not going to stalk her earlier.
okay.
He's got. Yeah, we'll do the dinner place.
Okay, so
Okay.
It's between 1 and 5 p.m. Are you doing anything else with those 4 hours?
I haven't thought about it much. Should I think about? Maybe we should think about. Nero will basically dive into some books and think about what he should be divining on next, and the Midnight Temple stuff. Whether he should be like reading more of that stuff to pour over what's important.
Okay. Nero dives into his books. Bob, buddy, you got 4 hours to kill. Also, what do you think of this whole thing? They're talking about stalking some girl you know nothing about. What's going on here, buddy?
I mean, Bob can't talk to girls. He's down for it.
You're down for talking to girls?
Yeah, Bob's down for talking to girls.
Well, Nero didn't say you were going to talk to girls. Nero said you were going to sit at a nearby establishment while Vors talked to girls.
I mean, that's fine.
You got no plans. You got nothing going on.
But I mean, yeah, Bob's not gonna be able to talk to the girls himself. Bob doesn't have plans really himself.
Okay. My audio video is messing up. Just mine, apparently.
You're really laggy, yeah.
You're out of sync.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. Let me turn off my video and turn it back on.
It's like the Matrix.
While we're talking about thinking, everybody should download Sync RPG.
Anybody? Is that better now?
Shout out Bijo. TK.
All right. Hopefully it's okay. So in my recording, I'm totally synced up. So that's fine. It's gonna be.
No, you are. You're
recording.
better now.
Yeah, you're fine.
okay.
You better know.
All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. So yeah.
Darren will just
Hey,
kill
guys.
time with Bob until 5. I got nothing to do.
You guys are just knocking around, logging this rest until 5.
Yeah, pretty much.
Stomach
Or
drinking.
could probably take a nap after that long last night.
It was late night. That's true. Okay, so you guys basically just kill time until 5 p.m. And around 4:30, someone comes to Logger's Rest, asking for Vors. So first off, let's jump to Logger's Rest. Are you on this map? Do you need to copy your tokens back on this map? Or are you all here? I think you are all here in this corner. Over here. And I have sound for this, I think? Who knows anymore?
The GM.
I'm the yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm the worst GM. Ugh. God, I'm so bad at this game. Alright.
Nero will duck out saying that he's going to go see a quartermaster and then is back well before 5.
Okay. So it's 4:30 when this happens, and we'll say that, Nero, you're back. Tell me what the quartermaster thing's about in Discord or whatever. We'll figure that out. So yeah, so it's 4:30. It's almost 5, and like I said, Levasvia has dinner every day for all the people staying at her inn, and she usually talks to people and tries to get interesting stories out of them. So it's about that time, and knowing this, Sethic, Paraduke Sethic has sent a messenger to find Vors. And Vors, let's say you're probably waking up from your nap. You're not actively sleeping, but a messenger comes in and asks for you. Mr. Aelith directs them to your room, and they come to your room and they knock on the door, Vors.
Alright, so Boris would ask who it is, and yeah.
It is just a human man who's just standing there, and he bows down low and he says, "Are you Master Vors?"
I am. I'm not out. Boris asked who it was. He didn't open the door.
Oh, he didn't open the door? Okay. So yeah, he asks through the door, "Are you Master Vors?" And you say, "I am."
Yeah.
And he says, "I am a messenger on behalf of Paraduke Sethic."
Boris would make us open the door then.
So you look, and again, you see he's a normal, like, commoner-looking person. He's not a noble or anything like that. And he bows when he sees you, and then he says, "The Paraduke requests your presence at Lazarix."
What time?
He says, "As soon as you're able." And he nods before saying, "He seems very angry."
Okay. How far is that from where I'm having my date night?
So this is a map of Agorian. This P is Lazarix, because P stands for Lazarix. That's cool. And your date is, I forget, was it in the Triumph, or is it? Let me see where I have notes on this. Your date is in Triumph, yeah, so your date is here. And you're here, so it's kind of on the way.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, so Vors is getting ready to leave. Is everybody ready to go with him?
Yeah, definitely.
Iwan is still in Dakarium at this point. So you're all accompanying him to Lazarix. Are you all going in with him to Lazarix?
No.
No.
He's leaving you outside the door? Okay. So the party walks from Devil's Dance down towards Lazarus, and Vors tells you to make yourself scarce as he walks in. And this is Lazarus, and I think there's special music for Lazarus. Not that it's all that different from the music we have going on right now. But hey, it's slightly livelier. So again, you walk into Lazarus, Vors, and you know where Sethic stays. So he stays in a back room. He's not actually like in the main dining hall. He's in like in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically just walk in, and no one even directs you. You just kind of walk through everybody and walk to where you're going, and nobody stops you.
All right. So
Let me copy Vors onto this map. So you get in there, and you see Sethic sitting at the same table he's always been at. Basically in the middle of the kitchen. So always people are running around him doing all of these kitchen tasks, cooking all these delicious meals for all these upscale patrons because he runs a fairly upscale establishment. And you see Bist the halfling and the half-orc barbarian bodyguard, which was identified as Mr. Thorpe to you in the past.
okay.
There you go, Mr. Thorpe. Make a perception check as you're approaching. And a sense motive while you're walking in. So you walk in, and see if you can find sense motive. There you go. So yeah, so you can tell immediately upon walking into the kitchen that Sethic is furious. Like he's basically he's berating Bist and Mr. Thorpe and shouting at other lackeys nearby, and he just looks furious. And you also notice that Mr. Thorpe has his arm in like almost a sling. Like he's very badly bandaged and has his arm basically as if it was horribly wounded fairly recently.
Oof. All right.
And what do you do?
I for Sethic to take a breath and just kind of, I guess, just wait to be noticed.
Okay. So it goes on for a while, actually. Like, Sethic is so furious, he doesn't actually notice you walk in, because there's so much bustle going on around him that he doesn't actually notice you for a while. You can see him...
Vors wouldn't wait in the door. Like, he'd go approach him. And
Okay.
he wouldn't interrupt him.
Yeah, so after several seconds of him shouting at mostly at Mr. Thorpe, but you can tell he's also yelling at Bist. So eventually you walk in...
Does Vors overhear any of
that? With the 24? Yeah. So basically, he's shouting at them that he doesn't understand. He's shouting about gross incompetence and how anybody could have done this. How did you fail at this? What the hell happened? And he doesn't understand. And he's mostly yelling at the half-orc, the giant half-orc with the bone through his nose and stuff like that. And the half-orc, for his part, isn't arguing back. He looks dejected, as if he's failed. You can tell that he is accepting the fact that he has failed his master. As you walk up. And Sethic sees you, and he just gestures, Finally! Where the hell have you been?
So I had a small thing to take care of in Sonara.
Sonara? What the hell were you doing in Sonara?
Don't worry about it. I've been back since midday, so I don't know. Like, I've been at the Lawgiver's Rest all afternoon. Like, you could have sent for me earlier.
And he begins shouting at Bist again about like why didn't we know he was back? How did you not know he left? And he just seems he's furious and just kind of ranting at everybody in general. And he turns back to you, and he just says, "So, what about Sonara?"
Don't worry about it. I had one of my colleagues called in a personal favor, and I just had to help him out with something.
And Sethic, he just waves his hand as if that's completely unimportant. He doesn't understand why you're wasting your time with stuff like that. He says, fine, whatever. And he says, what do you know about Lavasvia? What do you know if she's been up to?
This is Chris asking Joe, because I think I remember finding some shit out about her. But I don't.
What does Vors know? I know I would know something. I don't know that Vors knows it. Just roll d20 for me to see if Vors heard and remembers what I'm thinking of. Ba-doom. Yeah, so Vors doesn't remember. So you don't know what he's getting at. If you remember, Lavasvia hasn't been very interested in you. Basically, after you, Jeff doesn't remember what Iwan knows. But if you remember, basically, once you she basically positioned herself. She asked you a question like, "Do you want to do you want to patron at the royal court? Do you want to be advanced like this?" And you said you were basically still considering your options. And she, after that, it's basically seemed completely uninterested with you. She asked you when you were going to try to grasp the brass ring yourself.
Yeah, no, I remember like Lavastia had like a conversation with Iwan, like something similar, or like had a job for Iwan.
That's correct, and Vors does not remember the details. Correct.
Yeah. Apparently, Jeff doesn't either.
Okay. So, I'll tell Jeff after, but
no, I do. I do remember. Now that I didn't realize that was about her, but I do remember what that is.
Okay.
Did Iwan actually tell Vors what's up though? Because he wasn't.
You were present at the table, but she was talking quietly to Iwan, which is why I had you roll the d20 to begin with.
Yeah. Okay. Would I want to talk?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah. So Vors would be like, I have no idea what you're talking about, like, but politely, not how I said.
You can tell that he's not happy. He goes, he's like, what's the point of you even staying there if you don't know what's going on? And he looks at Biss, and Biss just shakes her head. And he says, I got a loan from a Corentin moneylender. And Corentin is a city on the far western side of Cheliax. Not really a frontier. It's kind of like one of the biggest garrisons on that side. It's a big naval base because there's like a what do you call narrow? Like a strait, I guess. Yeah, correct. A strait. There's like a strait between two different continents, so they have like a big naval base there. And he basically says like I had a loan coming in from this moneylender out there, and somebody seemed to know exactly what was going on. And he gestures towards Bists, the little halfling, the lanky halfling next to him. And Bist claims that everything was going great. They had she, Mr. Thorpe, and 4 sellswords that they had hired were basically there waiting at the river docks to meet these people that were bringing in the loan. Everything was going perfectly fine. The sellswords were annoyingly social and joking the entire time they were waiting, and Bist found that like detestable. But something weird happened right after the handoff. They gave a bag of holding to Mr. Thorpe with the contents of the loan, and almost immediately all of the sellswords started acting. They got very quiet and acted very robotically, and they turned on them. They just started attacking Mr. Thorpe, and simultaneously they were assaulted with several archers from a nearby building, and they basically had to scatter to get out of the way. So. She claims that Mr. Thorpe felled 2 of the sellswords and tried to escape himself, but several blocks away, after they got out of the range of the archers, he just fell to the ground laughing maniacally. And Mr. Thorpe, the half-orc, full-on orc, not even half-orc, full-on orc, chimes in and he says, a ghost took it.
What do you mean a ghost took it?
It says.
Can you describe the ghost? Like
he shakes his head and says, "I not see. I feel it when I laugh. This cold breeze. Belt cut. It took only the pouch. It know how it know."
Your video's lagged by like 4 or 5 seconds.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I apologize. That's fucking terrible.
Still better than WebEx. But
Oh, ouch. I could rejoin. That might fix it. But let's finish this scene.
um, I'm just gonna have to not watch you.
I'll turn off video for the time being.
Um, He's like Vor says he's just like, I've experienced some really weird things before, but can't say I've quite experienced that. But like, definitely believable.
Yeah, Biss nods, and you can tell that she doesn't really believe it was a ghost. Like, Mr. Thorpe does seem to believe it's a ghost, but Biss just shakes her head and says, "Who knows who did it or what did it?" But like, basically, he killed 2 of the cell swords, and the other 2 fell on him when he started laughing like an idiot. And somehow, but when that was all going on, the satchel was taken, and Sethik just looks on furiously as this is being described to you.
All right, so it was an inside job. I know some folks who might understand what Mr. Thorpe's describing. I can talk to them, but yeah, you got to look within your ranks. Like, this is clearly a planned job.
Biss nods, acknowledging that they seem to know far too much.
Indeed. How many people knew of this, like, transfer?
And Sethik bursts out and says, just me, Bist, and Mr. Thorpe, and the Moneylenders in Corentin."
Well, somebody clearly knew, so... Does anybody know whether, like, you would need a loan?
As you ask that, you can Vors gets the sense that Sethik has been holding something back this entire time, and as you ask that, he basically loses it, and he begins to shout that Lady Vasvian today announced that she would be donating 65,000 gold to the Queen's war chest to stop the Glorious Reclamation. The exact sum of the loan. 2 days after it was stolen, he begins like spitting on the ground. She dares to mock me so brazenly, and he's losing his mind. You can tell that he's like furious that this has happened to him.
I mean, that still doesn't change the fact that you have, like, somebody on the inside who knew about this.
And Sethik looks at Bist and back at Mr. Thorpe. And when he looks at Bist just shakes her head. And Mr. Thorpe makes no reaction at all, still looking like visibly dejected as if he has failed. And he's got his arm in a sling.
I'd study all 3 of them, so +3.
Oh yeah, because you have to be able to do 3 now. You believe all of them. You believe that Biss does not believe that she's not the mole, and Mr. Thorpe genuinely feels like depressed and saddened that he has failed his master in this. So you don't believe either of them are the mole, and if Sethik is to be believed, only they knew. They and the sellswords.
I mean, why would the sellswords know about what the...
Correct. You're right. They wouldn't know the exact contents of the missions. They were basically just told to stand near these people while this happened. Correct.
I mean, the bankers knew. Like,
Sethik nods. Yeah, of course.
could she have, like, who knew that you were approaching those bankers?
He shakes his head, and you can tell with sense motives like that. You can tell that he's a little ashamed. The fact that he can't get a loan in Agorian, like basically because he's like I said before, he's kind of he fell from grace. He was captured by the Order of the Scourge. He's kind of coming back from that. The fact that he had to go to a Corentin moneylender instead of getting a loan in Agorian proper is kind of a sense of shame for him. Vors picks up on that, and he says, I don't know how she knew. I'm certain she knew. I'm certain this is her. There's no way that this is a coincidence.
I mean, does she just have people tailing Bist and Thorpe?
It's possible, but how did they know about the satchel? How did they know what to do? If they were just tailing them, why would they decide to act then?
she found out somehow. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and he nods, and you can tell he's furious, and he doesn't understand what's going on. But he nods as you're talking along, and then eventually, again, you can tell that he's furious and just barely holding back his emotions, and every once in a while he just kind of explodes. And that happens again.
Did you talk openly about this in here?
He shakes his head and says, no, only in private places, no. And he looks at Bist and Thorpe, who both nod as if like they didn't talk about it here either.
I'm at a loss, man. Then I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, so he nods along, and again, you can tell that he's barely restraining his fury. And when he can sense that you have nothing really else to offer, he kind of just explodes again in rage. Like he turns around and says, "That harpy has gone too far this time. This is not a coincidence. I want to know who she hired to do this, and I want her family. I want her ruined. I want her family ruined. I want her to suffer as I have. Worse, even." And he's losing his mind. He's furious.
All right. I mean, I'm decent at finding folks, so.
He says, "I've heard you're decent at doing other things to folks as well. Is that true?"
It's not untrue.
He smiles, and again, he's got like barely any teeth. He's got like 4 remaining teeth left. If you hover over his token, you can see his picture. And he's got this terrible breath. This whole time, if you're close enough to smell it, you just smell this horrible breath every time he speaks. Full-on halitosis. And he says, if that's true, then I've got a job for you.
It's a variable scale for the price.
He smirks knowingly. And he says, what are your compunctions? Why wouldn't you kill someone?
Oh, I thought you were gonna pimp me out. Excuse me.
He laughs and says, "No." It says, "No, I've heard other things. I haven't heard that."
The other things that I'm good at, right?
And he laughs, and Bist begins blushing behind him.
It depends on who it is. Like that'll determine the price.
And he says, "And there's nothing else? Is it only a price to you?"
That depends on the ends. So.
The ends, he says. I want her to suffer. I want her destroyed. I want her family destroyed. Those are the ends.
If you want, I mean, not opposed to it.
He nods, sizing you up. Are you genuinely unopposed to that as an idea? Or are you lying?
Like killing her and her family?
Well, no, just generally seeing her fall from grace, I guess. Yes, correct. Or I guess killing her family. You're not opposed to killing her family?
No.
Let's do it, bro.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So he sizes you up and kind of gets the feeling that you're not lying. You're sincere in that like there is a price for anything at this point. And he flatly lays it out, and he says, "Niccolo Alizario," which is her engaged husband, or her fiance. That's the word. That's the word. Her fiance.
Son of the mayor?
Yes, correct. The third son of the mayor.
Yeah, he's got other sons. And like, and Forrest would be like, well, his days are numbered anyway. He's involved with the last few. So, if anything, I could dispatch him more cleanly than she ever could.
He nods and says, "Of course. It's only a matter of time before he dies. But I need expediency. I need her under the eye of the Dotari of the Order of the Scourge. I want her, the Lord Mayor, looking into her now. I want that eye focused on her."
So you need something framed then.
He nods and says, yes,
Right.
yes, of course, with her reputation, it'd be easy enough. But if you could in any way frame her or implicate her in this,
It's like, what were the other ones?
what were the other
Like,
ones? What's the question?
The other deaths. One drowned in the tub.
Yeah, she had 3. One drowned in a tub, one fell off a balcony, and one, I think, died in a hunting accident.
Mm.
So all very questionable circumstances. And he basically says, like, I need you to do this. Like, I need him to die now under questionable circumstances. I need all of these agencies looking into her now. I can't wait any longer. You can tell he's furious, and he just wants the revenge now. He needs this to happen now.
Okay. Well, I've got something at 5.
He looks at you again. What do you have at 5? And you can tell he's like, he assumes he is the most important thing in your life right now. And the fact that you bring up other
Fuck
things
this
like
guy.
my friend had business in Sonara and I have something at 5 is insulting to him. He's like, what do you have at 5 that's more important than this?
Well, I've got a date.
A date. And he looks at Bist and Mr. Thorpe. Mr. Thorpe chuckles. He says, a date with who? Why?
That's another favor, but like I'm not going to do anything until after dark anyway, so like it's going to be fine.
Are you in the habit of doing favors? You've done 2 in the past 2 days.
I owed my life to one of them, and the other one, he's fucking weird. And if I'm honest, I'm doing it because like the girl's cute and it's kind of a freebie. So
Sethic seems completely like turned off by the fact that you said this. Not like, he's not interested in what you're saying. He's like, what do you want, Vors Abernus? Are you just moving through life, or what are you moving towards?
I'm gonna see my uncle dethroned. Not dethroned, but like removed from power.
And these things you're doing, these favors, he says, and the word is dripping with venom as he says. These favors you're doing for your friends, are they moving you closer to that?
In a way.
And you can tell he's not happy with that answer. He's just... he says, there is an old Chelish axiom. Power is not given. It is taken. Are you willing to take it, Vors?
Yeah, and that's why like I'm working with Nero on like setting up like these different legal like corporations to do things and gain like power and rapport and like a reputation throughout Cheliax, so that I'll have some standing to challenge my uncle on if it comes to it. Until you presented yourself in the temple the other day, these were the means that I had. And to be frank, like I trust one of them with my life, and that in itself is valuable.
And hearing you talk about Nero and building a legal foundation for challenging your uncle, you can see him, he just raises his hand and he almost interrupts you, but he lets you finish and then he just puts his hand and says, like, take charge of your own destiny. Don't cower behind the laws that are meant to control the lesser people. That's not what Cheliax is about.
And show me the way. I wouldn't be opposed to having a mentor.
And he chuckles again with his 4 teeth showing. And he says, I would be happy to have that. Do this for me, and I will do that for you.
And to be frank, if I have your backing and like paired with this, and you just like kind of gesture to himself, it's like we could accomplish things.
Okay. He nods, and what does he say? He nods and basically he basically details a little bit more about Nicola Alazario. He mentions to you that he has a private flat that he has been using, like that no one's supposed to know about, but Sethix has somehow found out about. That he is using as something of a drug den. He says that Niccolo Alizaro has an opium habit.
Ooh.
And that he retires to this flat to basically do drugs and congregate with prostitutes without Lavasvia knowing. And he impresses upon you that this is a scandal for the Lord Mayor that he would not have. The Lord Mayor is one of his good friends, and he would never do anything to impugn the dignity of the Lord Mayor. But you taking care of this would help hit the Lord Mayor indirectly, even though the Lord Mayor would never know. This would help him. This would basically prevent a scandal from coming out. Should you do this for him?
Okay.
So yeah, so he describes where this flat is located, and all that stuff I just said. And
I mean, like, are the prostitutes at this place too? Like, you said
occasionally, yes.
Is it just like his like an apartment that he keeps somewhere, or like is it like an open brothel, or?
It's his apartment. He legally
Okay.
owns it under a false name. He legally owns it, and it's not like it's just a drug den or a trap house or anything like that. It's his apartment that he sometimes retires to do opium and prostitutes.
Okay. We'll figure something out. Do you want him dead or do you want him disgraced?
I want him dead. With her reputation, I want him dead. I want him gone. I want her blamed for it, and I want everything that comes with that. And he smiles for the first time, like in the entire conversation. He smiles like ear to ear.
All right. We'll make it happen.
Okay. He's very happy. He looks back at Bists, who nods and also appears happy with the transaction. And Mr. Thorpe is still dejected. He realizes that he failed. He was the one carrying the money, and he lost it. And again, he mentioned that it was 65,000 gold was stolen. That's a lot of money. For adventurers, that's like, you kill a big monster, you get 65,000 gold, that's fine. But, like, that's a lot of money in the economy of the world. And it was a loan he took out, so the handoff happened. He owes that money and does not have it. So he is furious. And Mr. Thorpe looks dejected as if he has failed his master. Because a ghost stole it from him. And he was laughing like an idiot while it happened. He doesn't understand what happened. He was laughing like an idiot. But you've sworn to do this, so he tells you where to go, basically. He tells you where the Niccolo Alizar's flat is located.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else you want to say?
Nope.
All right. Then we go back to the map of Agorian. So you guys are currently here at Lazarix, and you are heading somewhere to Triumph. Where
I mean, like based on what he told Wars about the his like the guy's habits. Like, does he have time to get the like date in and still like do something to progress?
Or still what? Sorry, I missed the last part.
Can he still go fuck the guy up?
Do you still want to fuck the guy up? Where is the guy's flat? That's a good question. His flat is in 5 Favors, which is over here.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so you think you have more than enough time to kill somebody and also go on your date.
Okay, cool. Okay, let me see. I don't know if Wars has any poisons on him though.
You need poison for this?
I would. Well, I mean, like, basically, like, the clean way to do it and what he would like to do is, like, find out where like, basically, like, sneak into the guy's place and, like, put a bunch of fentanyl in the opium. So that it looks like he overdosed.
The kinetics of that don't work, sir. We have to discuss this.
You got several pharmacists in the party that are disagreeing with what you've just said.
Why? if he's
Just
injecting, like, I mean,
No,
he's
I don't
probably-
seriously disagree. I'm just making a joke.
I mean, like fentanyl. I mean, like, I could go with some carfentanil, which is even more powerful. You want me to do that?
that's the right move. Yeah, that's the
Getting
right
thumbs
move.
up from the pharmacist.
Yeah.
What do they call carfentanil, Joe?
I don't know what Pathfinder calls carfentanil, if that's the case. I don't know.
What does Joe call carfentanil?
I don't have a clever answer. I'm too drunk to come up with a clever word.
Joe calls that lunch.
Is somebody keeping track of morals? All right, good.
I hope someone is, because I'm not.
Someone.
There are a few floating in there.
All right, sweet.
Carfy. We'll call it Carfy.
Carfy. So are you planning to go to the 5 favors, or what are you planning to do?
I mean, what time does, like, the dude usually, like, go get high and, like, fuck prostitutes?
He says late at night is what Sethik tells you. Like, basically, all the nights that he's not spending with Lavassia, he's spending at this flat. He's not like a
Okay.
super addict. Like, basically, he functions normally when in the presence of Lavassia. So he's not, like, jonesing all the time. He just occasionally retires to this flat to do some opium and bang some prostitutes.
All right.
And it's the middle of the day now. So you based on what he said, you don't believe he'd be there.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's 4:30, or, like, it's getting close to 5.
Yep.
I'm just telling, like, all right, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Is there anything else I should know?
He shakes his head, and again, you can tell he's almost like shaking with how angry he is. He says, "Do this for me, and you will have a friend forever. I swear it."
I appreciate that. We'll see. Yeah, I'll let you know.
He nods and he kind of waves you out as if he's a busy man with lots of things to do.
Okay. Moores leaves and goes and talks to the barrister.
Okay. So you go to Triumph, and the name of the restaurant that you were set to meet her at is the 11 Thorns, I believe. Let me see. The 11 Thorns. So again, you picked an upper class, like an upper middle class. You went to the middle class neighborhood. You picked like an upper restaurant in the middle class because you wanted to impress her based on what you thought of her and her standing. You believe this would be a place that, impressed her.
Yeah, but she might still be comfortable.
Correct. Yes, it's not like super nobility, whatever. It's a middle class neighborhood. It's the upper tier of that neighborhood. Convors is very explicit in what he wanted for her. So you show up there. Again, there's certainly nicer places in town, but you estimate this establishment will impress her without seeming overly gaudy. You don't want to look like you're throwing your wealth around or anything like that. So you walk into the room, and there's an opera singer and a small band on a central stage. And they are singing Chelish opera. So the arias are well liked, but fairly old. They're not like, it's not like new music. It's nothing like that. But it's still, like, again, it's common. It's what the Chelish nobility enjoy. So you walk in and there's an opera singer on the stage.
Okay.
And you get there and you cannot find her. She's not there. And you wait for a half hour and she does not show up.
Bitch.
All right, Vors ain't gonna waste his time. He's gonna go try to score some carnal.
Score some what?
Carnal.
What does that mean?
Carfentanil.
Oh. So you're going to go look for drugs? You're going to go look for some carpet?
Good old drug search.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you are actually fairly close to some bad neighborhoods. So Trick Alley over here and Bilgetown and Long Market and Dice End over here are kind of the bad neighborhoods. So basically you wander over and you know enough about Agorian to know what's going on. So make a knowledge check. And then how are you approaching the situation? How are you looking for drugs?
We're also following him.
At a
From
distance
afar.
still, or what?
Yeah, at a distance. Though.
We are also looking for drugs.
Oh, so is Bob loudly shouting that he's looking?
No,
for
no, we're smarter this time.
Yeah, we're with the smarter person. Okay, Boris knows what he's doing.
Smarter.
the smarterer person? Vord, you know a great deal about Agorian. You've perhaps visited several times in your youth, in your past. So you know a good deal about what's going on, and you know how to carry yourself in the seedier districts of Agorian. So also make a diplomacy check. You're walking through Trick Alley, and you're looking to score a specific drug.
And I study everybody that I see, so I get a +3 on this.
All right.
Vors would probably have his hood up to try to keep a lower profile.
You don't want to appear as being for Avernus of House Avernus.
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah, between your knowledge check and your diplomacy check, you very easily are able to move through the town unnoticed, and you do find somebody who you believe sells drugs. And through casual conversation, you believe that he does have what you want. Again, he's using code words, and I'm not going to roleplay the whole thing, but you believe he's talking about the drug you want.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Vors would get like more than enough carfentanil to kill someone, which is a very, very small amount.
Okay. I will write Carney purchase.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it's going to cost, but it's going to cost money.
Yeah. Of course.
But also not not an obscene amount of money. I assume like several gold would be enough to buy a drug to kill somebody. Like,
I mean, like, to give you an idea, it's like $3,000 a kilogram to get that stuff out of China. So,
and what kills a person?
Very
You
little.
don't need a kilogram to kill somebody, do you?
no, you need like milligrams.
Milligrams, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
flick a little bit
'cause-
at him.
They cut heroin.
Even poisons are like 500 to 1,000 gold a piece. So like, at worst, you're spending hundreds of gold. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, that's fine.
we'll figure out what that costs later. But basically, you make an exchange, and you are given vials, and you do a little. I don't know how you sample it, but observing it, you're pretty sure you're getting the real deal.
I mean, he wouldn't want it in vials. He'd want it in like the powder form so that he could taint.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Joe doesn't know enough about drugs, so yes, correct. You acquire a powder and rub a little bit on your gums or whatever. And are
No, that'd be
certain-
enough to fucking kill me.
Then I know nothing about drugs. But you are given a powder, and however your observance matters, you are certain that he is giving you the real deal.
Vors would see how much respect he's treating the powder with.
There you go. So you can tell that the person you've connected with is not just some street urchin handing you a powder. You can tell that this is an experienced individual that either makes or regularly deals in this sort of stuff, and you feel confident based on what he gives you that this is the real deal.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
Vors would then go I guess he'd go start asking around for what's her face.
What is her face?
I can't remember her name. I just remember the barrister.
Her name is Mazel Jaluth. But yes, the barrister. So you're going to ask around in Trick Alley or where?
No, not in Trick Alley, but I guess you go back to the restaurant, see if she showed up. How much time do you think passed?
Hey, Darren, let's hang out in Trick Alley.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let me roll. You spent 2 hours looking for drugs, so it's now 2 hours after your date. It's 7 p.m.
Okay, I guess you'd go back, scope it out, see if check in with the mayor D, the guy who owns the place, and see whether somebody ever showed up.
Okay, so yes, you show up and you find the maitre d' or whoever's working the front desk or whatever it happens to be, and they shake their head and say, no, nobody matching the description has come in.
Okay, thank you. Or is in simple mode?
They nod apologetically, as if sensing that you've been stood up for a date.
Yeah. Yeah. So
All right. Bob and Darren want to do something when you're done here, bud.
Nobody's
did you follow him back to the wherever we were having dinner?
No, we followed you to your drug dealer, and when you left, we went to go buy drugs from your drug dealer.
Some Zerk.
All right, let's not do this. Let's do this later because we got time to waste.
All right, fine. Can we just say that the guy sold us drugs?
Yeah, Joe, hand wave us.
Hand wave it and give
Yeah.
us some fucking Zerk.
I mean, at that point, yeah, you know he's a drug dealer. Make a diplomacy check, either of you. What if you make-
Here comes Darren.
You can both make one, and the lesser helps the better, with a +2.
Let's do it.
If you get higher than a 10. All right,
Fuck
so
yeah.
Darren's pretty good. What's Bob got? All right, you did. So you helped him. You got a 23. So basically, you watched Darren interact with this drug dealer. And you're certain he's a drug dealer after watching what happens. And you basically walk up, and what do you say, Darren? So Bob walks up behind you, but what does Darren say?
I just I come up to him with my hands in my pockets. I stand really close, and I lean into him. And I'm like, "Hey, you got drugs? I need some drugs." And then he smiles at him. He just stares at him and smiles at him.
And Bob, what do you say in order to support Darren in his adventure?
Bob says, "We just saw you sell drugs to our friend."
The guy asks you, that guy is your
Wow.
friend? And he gestures towards Voraz, who is walking away.
An acquaintance, coworker.
He's my friend. He pats on his chest.
Wouldn't say we get along, and say we hang out.
So are you following him?
Sometimes.
And he looks at you and he sizes you up. You're both genuine in your want for drugs, right?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Very genuine.
And yes, so he sizes you up, and you can definitely tell that he's taking a moment to assess what's going on here, as if he's being set up. And he says, like, "What do you want?"
Just some Zerk.
And he looks at Dern as if asking, like, "Is that what you want as well? You looking for Zerk?"
Yeah, I'm really just along for the ride, so whatever.
And this guy has Zerk. Yeah, it's 50 gold a hit. So what are you looking for?
2, sir.
Like 4 total then.
4 total. Yeah,
Wow.
2 each.
Yeah.
So he looks at you as if, like, you got to show the money. You're gonna show 200 gold.
Yeah, I can show 200 gold.
Okay. Bob spends 200 gold on Zerk. So yeah, so once you show the money, you can tell he picks it up and he doesn't even count it. He just kind of like holds it in his hand and can tell that's about 200 gold. He nods, and he pulls out of his pocket. He's just flowing with drugs, and yeah, he gives you 4 hits of Zerk.
Alright. Thanks, my guy.
He nods. And begins disappearing into the darkness. If you want to.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that happens, and then, like I said, Voraz goes back to Triumph. You can follow him if you want. He goes back to the 11 Roses, or whatever I called it, 11 Thorns, and he asks again about the barrister. The barrister never showed up. Yeah. And what do you
What's
want to
going
do?
on
Voraz?
here?
What was that?
What do you want to do? Voraz? It's now 7 p.m.
What time of year is it?
What time of year is it?
Yeah.
I want to say spring, but I don't know if I have contradicted that in the past. So spring? Spring?
Where is the
Alright,
mountain?
Where's the mountain, Joe?
Where is the
It
goddamn
better
mountain?
be spring.
It's spring now. It is now at this point.
No, like I was just wondering, like how long. Like I should ask like how far north we are and like
I don't want to do all that math. Correct.
where we are in the time zone.
So it's 7 p.m. It's definitely dusk at this point. Like the sun is beginning to set, if it hasn't already.
Okay. I can't. What else did Dern tell Boars about her?
Durin, what did you tell
I
Vors
told
about
him she hangs out at that bar in the afternoon, then goes to the whip crack later, and then disappears.
All right, so Vors would go check the bar and then down to the whip crack if he doesn't find her there.
Okay. The clerk's Koisler is in Hellhound Hill, so you walk over there. And by the time you get there, it's 7:30, and you get there, and she is not present. You walk in, and it's basically dead. You can kind of tell that the bar is actually in the basement of like a bureaucracy building across the street from the courthouse. So it's kind of a favorite place of lawyers and stuff like that. And like I showed before, do I have the map? Clerk's Cloister, where are you? Come on. There it is. I can load it up. There are, I know there's only two on the actual map if it loads. There's 2 booths, but imagine there are more than that. And when you walk into one of the booths or when you get near them, you can tell that they're surrounded in a veil of silence or whatever the magic spell is called, aura of silence. So that when you walk in there, people outside can't hear you. So it's kind of a favorite of lawyers who are talking to their clients, so people can't hear what they're talking about outside. And you walk in, and it's basically dead. There's no one here this late at night.
Okay. Like he would then go down to whip crack. If there's nobody there, nobody worth talking to.
Yeah.
Or does he perceive something?
Make a perception check. Are you looking for anything in particular, or?
Just like see if there's anybody of note or. Yeah, I don't know.
You can toss a perception check on that if you want.
Or I guess you could ask the bartender about her.
You're asking the bartender about what? Sorry.
Isn't the bartender in on it?
I don't know, Dern. What does Dern know?
I'm pretty sure the bartender's the one that slips her the notes or something, right?
Did you tell Vors that at some point?
Yeah, for sure. I told him that.
Okay.
Very important matter. I would have not foregone that.
Vors, I will first. I can't do anything because my token's not on the map.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Sweet.
It's only Darren.
Let me copy you from Lawgiver's Rest. Copy to Clerk's Cloister. Now you're over here. Boom, you're at the bar.
All right. Well, first of all, he like capes the joint to make sure like it's not like hostile or anything. I don't know. Let's see what he notices.
It's not hostile. So there are bouncers at the front door, but you don't perceive them to be like they're just bouncers. Like it's a bar. Bars have bouncers. You don't expect it to be any more hostile. And let me actually remove all the people. Like so, there's basically nobody in there. There's only like one guy at one of the tables, and all the servers are gone too. So I'll move them back in the back area. So basically, there's one guy drinking, and you walk in, and there's a bartender at the bar.
Vors would just say like, hey, okay, I've heard, or what's her name? Her actual name.
Maisel Julith.
It's like, by any chance, like, do you know Maisel? Like, she had talked about coming here before, and we're supposed to have dinner tonight together, and she never showed up. I was kind of worried about her.
The bartender looks at you curious. Maisel?
Yeah, like, do you know her? She said she comes in here all the time. I wasn't sure. Like, usually you get to know the bartender well, so I thought I'd ask you.
He shakes his head and says, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you... Who?
Maybe Maisel. What's her last name? I'm never going to remember.
Jaluth. J-U-L-U-T-H.
Maisel Jaluth? You sure you don't recognize that name?
He shakes his head.
She lost a hand like somehow, so I don't know if that helps jog your memory.
She lost a hand? What do you mean?
I don't know, like, a while ago. I'm not sure, but like she doesn't have a hand. I mean, she has one hand, but she doesn't have two hands.
And he shakes his head and toss me. Go ahead and tell me a sense motive check.
+2 or +3 rather.
Because you're studying, because that's what Force does.
Oof.
Yeah, he shakes his head and says he has no idea what you're talking about. I don't know. I never met anybody. I never met a person with a missing hand like that. No.
Does Voris believe?
You believe him, yeah.
Okay. Are you the usual bartender here?
He nods and says, "Yeah, I'm one of 2 or 3, I guess, depending on the day." Yeah.
Are any of the others here right now?
Shakes his head. No. He says it's quiet now. He gestures to the basically empty bar except for 1 patron.
Okay. Well, I guess thanks for your time. Then I'm gonna get going.
He's sure you won't have a drink? He gestures to all the different bottles of wine behind him. There's Cheliax is all about their wine, so he gestures to all the different vintages behind him.
Like, no, I guess like if you, yeah, I'm just looking for her. I'm not looking for a drink.
You can tell he's visibly sad by that. He's like, "Oh, all right, sure. I have no idea who you're talking about, but that's fine." And he goes back to washing dishes.
Okay. Vors would go out, I guess, and go down to the whip crack.
All right. I'll go back to the map of Megoria. Boom, boom. And you need to walk all the way to Whip Crack. And again, you get there, and now it's like 8 p.m., and pretty much everything is shutting down for the night. So you get there, and no one's there selling slave. Like, this is a bit like a big open-air slave market, and no one is, like, actively selling slaves by the time you get there. Everybody is either packing up or already gone. So you walk around for a while, and you do not find the barrister. The alleged barrister.
Vors would just hang out for a bit then.
Okay. Are you looking for anything in particular, or just the barrister?
Just the barrister or Siggy, I guess.
What do you know about Siggy? Has Iwan told you about Siggy?
Oh yeah.
What do you know?
I mean, I was like, had like Vors helped her kill. Oh my god.
The fact that you can't remember Cointa's name really
Vors-
impresses me.
Vors
Yeah, thank you.
Vors went with her. Vors went with her when she found Siggy, or found the person who told her about. So Vors was there with her actually.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you did he see Siggy, or does he just know of Siggy? Have you seen Siggy? I don't think you've seen him. Iwan.
No, I don't think I saw him. Somebody described him in a lot of detail to us when we went down there. I think that was when Bob and Dern got jumped when they were getting drugs. The two of us were down there doing that.
Yeah.
In the Discord channel, Souls for Maggie, it says Siggy Ulagolio, Agorian, Whipcrack, human, abolitionist, sold his soul for infernal strength, an opportunistic Gindam granted his desire by taking control of his body. The Gindam was insane and able to insert full control. The two struggle for ownership. Siggy has sought out Imaday in aid for exorcism, yet to succeed. That's what Iwan knows if he's never actually met Siggy.
Well, and just physically, right? I don't remember if she saw him or if it was described, but he was supposed to be this pretty gigantic guy with all the, like, he was tatted up, bald maybe too.
The fact that
I
you know
remember
that
correctly.
is correct. Yes. So yes, So he does have massive tattoos on him. He has black tattoos, like lightning bolts, all over his shoulders, going down his chest. So yeah. So you. I guess I forget exactly when it happened, but yeah, you must have heard that at some point.
Vors helped her scout that out.
Okay, got it. So then Vors knows about that. So you're looking for Siggy at Whipcrack.
Yeah, and the barrister, like, you just keep an eye out for like both of them.
All right, and so your urban tracking thing is based on diplomacy.
Yeah, that's if he's asking. That's if he's asking around. If there are people to ask around, he definitely would. But otherwise, he would just kind of hang.
Are you using Siggy's name, or are you describing him, or what are you doing?
Well, no, he wouldn't be like actively looking for Siggy. He's looking for what's her face.
Okay. So toss
Yep.
me a diplomacy check and then a perception check.
+3 is on diplomacy. I need to click myself. Where am I? There I am. Wow. It's 25.
Okay.
And
And a
perception.
That's really good. So you ask around for the barrister, and I guess you're describing her as the woman with one hand. And you definitely hear from people that, like, she's been around, she was here earlier today, but she's not here now. Like, you know, oh, you mean the lady who sells contracts? Yes, of course, yes. You know,
Yeah.
some people even describe her as, you know, oh, the what's the Abadarian priest? Yes, because she wears like a big key around her neck. Yeah, she was here. She was here. She was selling contracts all day, but she's not here anymore.
Okay.
And you look around for Siggy, and you don't see him anywhere.
Okay. I mean, boards would, I guess, just hang out or like, yeah. Yeah, he'd start making his way back up to the dude's flat. He's not gonna waste his time with this, I guess.
Okay. So he begins making his way back up towards the guy's flat. Where do I have it on the map somewhere? It's all the way up here. So what is everybody else doing? So Vorus is just kind of stumbling around Whipcrack and Triumph District. What is everybody else doing? Anything interesting?
Just following Boris.
So,
Just following
I mean,
Vorus.
are we assuming that, like, Vors, I don't know what you would tell us is going on. Would we be following along with you? Would we be way back in the distance? Would we be like, hey, I'll meet you back at the place?
No, like he was keeping his distance from you guys, and then you stopped to buy drugs. So I don't know how, like, whether you were able to keep up, but you waited.
They're definitely watching it. They're close enough to know that you've exchanged drugs with somebody. They found your drug dealer and used them. So, like,
Yeah.
are you stopping to sync up at all, or are you just going about your day and they're just kind of following you like 5 minutes behind?
The latter.
The latter? Okay, so you just don't stop. You don't care that they're following you.
At
No.
some point, Nero bails.
Okay.
And he would go to, I forget the noble's name, the noble who knew his name at the party.
Baroness Galinthia.
He stops for a moment at some sort of bar, or maybe while we're waiting for Vors at the first bar, he writes a short note and he seals it with wax with his family symbol, and he leaves it with her service at her, I would assume her manse, and then basically tells her to call on him whenever she feels fit at Lawgiver's Rest, and he'd be happy to meet her in person if she wants to know more about X and Y and Z.
All right. That is fantastic. All right, so you slip away and you do that. Everybody else, Dern and Bob. Nero slips away at some point to do something. Do you guys care? Are you just following Vors at like 5 minutes away, or what are you doing?
Still
I
following him.
I follow. Yeah, Vorse.
You
It's
just
part of my
follow-
work, so I follow him.
And
Well,
before
he's looking for the lady, so I'm looking for the lady.
He's
Before Nero
striking
slips-
out left and right.
It's all right. He's doing better than me.
let me interrupt for just 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Before Nero leaves, he'll cast status on the thugs so that he knows basically where they are and can catch up with you guys later.
That's wicked smart.
Nice, very smart. Think we're gonna get jumped, don't you? You bastard.
Yeah, so Vors is going about his business. He's walking again to Niccolo Alazario's flat. You guys are following 5 minutes away. Nero is out doing Nero things.
Participate in this.
Whatever you want to do. So yeah, Vors, you find what you're reasonably certain is Niccolo Alazario's flat, and it is now about 9 p.m.
Is there a decent place where he can, like, stake it out discreetly?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could hang out nearby. Things are dying down in town, so it's kind of awkward to be just standing around at 9 p.m. at night outside a building. There's not like a bar nearby or anything like that. So, Vors does think it would be a little awkward unless he found a place to hide. Are you looking to hide in the surrounding buildings?
I mean, just like somewhere dark. Yeah.
Yeah, so then it's basically a stealth check for you. So it's not like you're mingling in with like a bar nearby and watching. You're basically just hiding in the shadows. So make a stealth
Yes.
check. And the people following Vors, you watch as Vors moves into an alleyway, into a dark alleyway, and just kind of sits there. What are you guys doing?
I mean, would they even see that?
I mean, if you slip away out of their vision, they wouldn't notice, but they're following you. They've given me no information other than the fact that they're following you. So at this point,
I
they're
would-
We
following
have to be
you.
perceptive. I mean, what do you want from me?
Well, you're
Listen.
watching as Vors walks into an alley,
Yeah.
and so both of you make a perception check.
Does it seem like he's anymore? Like does Dern understand that?
I mean, yeah, so,
29. Dern understands.
yeah, so you don't see him, but you watch him disappear. You watch him walk into a dark alley, and he's gone. And Bob doesn't understand what happened. Bob just, like, didn't even understand. He didn't see him. Like, he was following him.
Bob.
He's basically just walking near you, Dern, assuming
Bob,
you had
Bob.
been seeing Vors.
Bob, we have to go touch base with him, and if we can't find him, we're getting the fuck out of here because I know how these things end.
We're gonna go. Where did he go?
See,
There's this
so
alleyway.
Dern, you definitely know you know the alleyway he's been in. He disappeared. Like he's hiding so well that you didn't see him. You watched him walk into place, and he's gone.
Well, I mean, he hasn't conveyed to us that he wants to be stealthy about it. Well, let's fight. Let's go in there.
Yeah, fuck it, man. This is getting boring. This has been my whole day. I haven't done shit. I haven't made any money. Let's go.
All right, let's go. I mean, yeah, whatever.
If you find money, I need it, by the way.
We've got Zerk, dude. Bob gives Dern 2 gold.
Dern takes that gold and snorts his Zerk off it.
No, don't snort the Zerk yet. We need that for later.
Dern snorts the Zerk.
You do.
Yeah, Dern.
And do you willingly become addicted to it, or do you want to make your save?
No, I don't. I hope not.
No, you do want to be addicted to it. That's the whole thing, man. That's how it works.
Yeah, basically, if you are addicted, you gain a strength bonus. So yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm just doing it for the. Dern's just doing it to fit in. No.
It lasts an hour, so there's that.
So you get a +1 to initiative,
Yeah.
and you resisted since you wanted to not get addicted. You resisted the addiction, so you don't get the strength bonus. You only get the +1 to initiative.
All
I
right,
think you
fine.
did it.
Bob's gonna snort Zerk off the gold too, I guess. Since
So you watch your friend, you tell him not to do it, and then seeing that he's already done it, you decide, fuck it.
He also takes 1d2 con damage just for taking it, whether or not he gets
Dern?
a strength bonus.
Yeah, roll 1d2. That's an accurate statement.
I mean, that sounds like what an addict would do: see another addict do something and then have to do it.
yeah, Bob is literally addicted to this drug. Lest we forget.
I'll give myself the -1.
Yeah, the -1 doesn't even matter until you get to -2. So, but Bob
Oh,
also needs
fuck
to
it.
roll it. Oh, you're lucky.
Nice, Bob.
So you both snort a line of Zerk off a gold coin. Apparently, I don't even know how that really works. The logistics of that are kind of odd to me. But whatever.
You put the line around the rim of the coin,
Oh,
and then you just
okay.
rotate the coin under. I imagine is how that would work out.
That sounds smart. It seems like you've done a bunch of drugs.
So I heard.
So I've heard. People are saying that this is how you do
I'm
it.
hearing this from people.
So yeah,
Does Nero's status allow him to know that these guys are doing this?
I don't know, Nero. How does that work?
Interesting question.
Let's just hand wave it. Hand wave it for Nero.
You know if they're disabled, staggered, unconscious, dying, nauseated, panicked, stunned, poisoned, diseased, or I'll go with
Poisoned.
poisoned.
Bob is poisoned. Yeah.
I'll go with the fact that you know that they are in an altered state. So you're over there. You're walking over to a noble's villa with a note in your hand, is saying, "I'm going to hand this to like the barrister at the noble's estate, or not the barrister, like whatever the foreman at the noble's estate, and leave a message with them." And then as you're walking over there, thinking about all this, you just get like a ping in your head, bing, bing, that they are in an altered state.
Morons. He drops off the letter and then is going to make a beeline.
While that's
Build a party.
happening, Bob looks at Darren and is like, "Fuck yeah, man, we got the drugs."
Yeah. Let's do this. Durham runs with his sword out.
Yeah. So you're definitely both feeling the rush. So Bob, you're not resisting the addiction. Right? You're addicted to this, yes?
Yeah, no, Bob is already got a
Roll,
problem.
roll your 1d4.
Yeah. Roll your 1d4 and add that to your strength.
God damn it!
So go ahead,
Sight,
add
brother,
your one
that was
strength,
sight.
and when it matters, we can sync if it does matter. But go ahead and add your one strength to your sheet. So during you don't get that, you only get the one to initiative if it matters.
Is that an enhance? I'm pretty sure that's an enhance.
I think
right?
it's now chemical bonus. Yes, it's now chemical bonus.
But there is not one of those on the sheet there, bud.
It should be.
Oh. What?
Oh, chemical should be on there. Anyway, whatever. Fuck it. So you're both snorting Zerk, and you're amped up. You're definitely feeling it, even if you made your save, Dern. So you watch Vors disappear into an alleyway, and you snort Zerk off a coin, apparently. And what do you do about it?
Cool.
That's it?
In the alleyway?
Well, they're watching it from a different alleyway, yes.
We're
Okay.
chasing after him now.
So you're gonna follow Vors, who's trying to hide.
Yeah, because now I realize he's not on the quest anymore. He's doing something else.
Okay, so you clomp on over. So both of you make a stealth check, because Vors is hiding in an alleyway, and you're gonna go over there and presumably try to be stealthy near him.
We're gonna out stealth him. Do we get a Zerk bonus?
There's no Zerk bonus to stealth now.
No.
Like hell, there isn't.
So
I think I'm
Dern,
more
Dern
stealthy.
actually does a masterful job of hiding. So Dern sneaks over. He's amped up and he's walking around. He's wiry and he's fast. He goes, but Bob is wearing whatever full mail, so he's clank behind you, and he's slow. So even though Dern, I think you're fast for a halfling, right? You're 30 feet, or what's your speed?
Yeah, I'm 30 feet.
So you're moving faster than Bob. Bob's a human, but he's in full place. He's going clank, and you move quickly across the street and move across. But Bob is behind you. He's clank.
I'm not waiting up for him, so
He still
What the
draws a
hell,
lot of
man?
attention. At 9
I'm
p.m.
keeping an eye on him, but I'm not.
At
waiting
like
up.
8 or 9 p.m. at night, when no one's hanging out in the streets, it's definitely a lot of noise. So you get to you go to the hallway and you make another perception check to see if you can even know where Vors is. Ooh! What was your stealth check, Vors?
39.
Oh, so yes, you can't find Vors. You get into the hall, you get into the alley, and neither of you can find Vors.
Is that a new check or the old check?
I do not
It's the
know
old
that
check. It's the
Vors
old
is trying to be stealthy, right?
But you don't know that, but you can't see him anymore.
Bob is on drugs and he does not know.
Vors walked into this hall. You didn't even see Vors walk into the hallway.
I'm
You
just
were-
saying,
you were
if I
blind
were
enough you didn't
if
even
I were
notice.
drunk and I walked into an alley not knowing that my friend was hiding, I'd probably scream.
Hey, you play Bob, all right? What does Bob do?
I don't know. I don't want to ruin.
Come
I don't
on,
wanna-
tell me Bob screams. Just say it. Say the words.
Bob,
Bob taps the hammer on the wall of the alley and says, "Vors."
Yeah. What does everybody else do?
Dern's like, holy fuck. He's trying to sneak. He sees. I keep an eye on Bob to see if it works.
Does Vors say anything?
How deep's the alleyway?
It's not that deep of an alleyway. So basically, you wanted to be close enough that you could spy on Niccolo Elizario. It's flat. So you've found a spot. You've actually like kind of jumped up onto a balcony that you don't think is being used. Like there's no lights in the house. So you've actually jumped up on a balcony. You're above them, kind of crouching behind a balcony, watching the flat. And they just stumble into the alleyway, high on Zerk. And he bangs his hammer against one of the walls and says, "Vors?"
Are there any other alleyways that I could hide in?
Yes, you believe there are other alleyways.
Can I scale this building?
You can make a climb check to find out, or jump, or an acrobatics check if you think you can jump it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you tell me, like, lay the scene.
You think 10 feet up, you can get to a roof. So yeah, so it's
Can I do, like, a full
it's
search
a
of
much
the
easier
alley?
climb check than an acrobatics check.
Can I do a full search of the alley while he's trying this?
What does that mean? You want to
I would
spend? If you want to take a 20, it takes you 20 times as long. It'll take you 20 minutes to scan.
Nah,
the alley.
never mind.
Yeah, Yeah, so Vors climbs up the roof. So you're now on the roof of the building. And
No, the
Do I need to roll
party
another
climbs
stealth
up
check
the
for that?
roof.
Sorry, Vors, what were you saying?
I was just gonna re-roll another stealth check to see whether they notice
Okay.
that.
So yeah, you can all make perception checks to see if you notice Vors happening to scale the side of the roof. Ooh,
Ooh.
Dern notices. So you guys are walking around, you have no idea where Vors is, and then Dern, out of the corner of your eye, you notice the shadow moving up the roof.
Dern casts fly and flies over.
Dern casts fly, and flies up to the top of the roof. And what do you say?
I said, "Hey, are you still following the barrister, or are you doing something else now? Because me and my buddy are really fucked up, and we're trying to figure it out."
I heard that she might come by this flat later.
Are you
Okay,
lying
okay,
right
sorry.
now?
Wait, did Bob? Did I notice Dern fly?
Yes, you don't even make a perception check. He flew away, so yes. But also,
Alright.
Vors, you lied. So bluff and will check, please. A will save.
What?
Make a will save.
All
Why
right,
don't you work
Bob's
there?
gonna try to climb up to where Dern flew to.
I'm gonna try a sense motive. Do I have to do it, or? Bro, you can't climb for shit.
No shit. Bob can't do
Um,
shit for shit.
So Vors, you go to say that. You go to tell him, "Oh, I believe he was. I can find her at this flat," and you are compelled to tell the truth.
What the fuck is compelling me?
I don't know. But
Well,
you are compelled to say the truth. So what is the truth?
What did Dern ask him? If I'm still watching her?
Are you still following the chick? Or are you doing a different thing now?
I'm still looking for her.
That's why we're here.
I'm still looking for her.
All right. Do you need us? Because we got fun things we can do otherwise.
I mean, shit might get weird in a few minutes. Probably a couple prostitutes.
Money, and his demon comes out.
Does Bob hear this?
Boars will be talking quietly, trying to keep a low profile.
That would be fine.
Cover.
Yeah, Bob does not hear this. They're on the roof whispering to each other.
Yeah, I will give you money to.
No.
Money. All right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just hang out in this alleyway. Stay here. If I call for you, I'm gonna need you to come help me.
Okay. Just shout. Bob Dern. I can't say 2020. What year is it, Joe?
Oh my God, I don't know.
He didn't want to do the math to figure out the season. Now you're asking about the year?
No, I was just worried that I might have said like, "Oh, it's summer" in the past and it's spring now.
All right.
But I don't
Just
know
right.
what year it is.
Just shout out Bob Dern Spring, and we'll come help you.
Bob Dern's spring break.
Bob Dern Spring Break, and
Spring
we'll come
break
get
is
you.
canceled, so I don't think
Oh, too soon.
coronavirus.
Yeah, too soon.
2020.
Too soon.
no. I don't know what
All
year
right.
it is. I'm sure this PDF would tell me what year it is, but I don't know what year it is.
I fly back down after acknowledging with fours. I fly back down and tell Bob to stay put.
Okay.
This alley sucks.
So you stake this place out, and it's like 8 at night, and at about 10, so 2 hours later, you're hanging out for a while. Vors, you notice that a man and a woman are entering the flat that you believe is Niccolo Alizarios.
All right. Does Vors notice anybody else, or like anything else in the street?
Toss me a perception check.
Oh, that's lame.
No, you just see these two people walking into the flat. So you're like laser focused on the flat, and you watch as two people walk up a flight of stairs into the flat itself. And they go inside.
It's springtime. Weather's nice. The window's open.
Let's flip a coin. Yes,
All right. The window's on the first or second,
second floor.
Oh.
so I'd have to climb.
You would have to climb and/or just go up the stairs. Yes.
Guess he would.
Yeah, what's up?
Like I assume you hang out and wait for the fucking to end, and then
Wait for the what?
the fucking.
The fucking. So you would wait. You give them time to engage in coitus.
Yes, they would quite.
They would
Yeah.
coit. Okay, alright. So here we are. It is nighttime. One of you has vision. I think it's Vor's that has vision. Yes, okay.
Yep.
Sweet, so I'll just do this a bit. There you go. So you watch as they walk up this flight of stairs into over here, and they presumably coit somewhere in here. So you see that there's windows over here.
And they're open.
These ones are not, but you believe this one is.
Fantastic. Boars would go to the open window.
Okay, so Vors is moving. What are Bob and Dern doing? So Vors is moving upon this place.
Looking over in the alleyway.
They're waiting like good little fucking boys.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put you over here so you can see yourselves on the map. You are waiting like good little fucking boys. Is Vors speaking for you, Bob? What are you doing? Why are you even here, Bob?
Bob went out to get drugs with Dern, and Dern was following our drug guy, and then we found a new drug guy.
So you snorted some Zerk, and that's just it. That's your whole day. Your whole day has been just waiting
Some
waiting
days-
and standing next to Nero and standing next to Dern.
Yeah, now I'm
snorting
sitting
a lot
there
of Zerk,
like
and
shaking.
then just standing next to Dern. That's your entire day. That's all Bob wants out of life in this world is just snort Zerk and stand next to Dern. That's it.
I mean, yeah, it's like the plot of Clerks. Also,
This
I'm
is
not
the
even
best
supposed to be
thing to
here
ever come
today.
back to.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I'm not even supposed to be here today. So you watch as Vors, the plot builder, climbs the wall
The plot builder. Yeah, here we go.
and peeks into a window.
He's really combining the plot and bringing it forward. It's great.
And he peeks into a window over here. And he sees that there is a pentagram carved into the ground with candles upon it. And
Oh,
Niccolo
fuck.
Alizario and a woman are standing next to it. And the woman is basically all but naked except for a satin robe.
Nice.
And Niccolo Alizario has a pentagram carved into his chest, and he is completely shirtless.
Is it freshly carved or is it?
It is
scarred?
freshly carved. He's actively bleeding.
Interesting.
And Vors, even with the briefest of glances, is pretty sure that the woman is a cleric of Asmodeus. She has like a holy symbol draped across her neck, and even now, half naked, she is very visibly a cleric of Asmodeus.
Vors is gonna watch.
Okay. So toss me another perception check as they move about the pentagram.
God damn it.
So you watch, and the woman here, the cleric of Asmodeus, is actively, basically, she's gesturing, gesticulating with her arms over and over again. You can't make out exactly what she's saying. She's talking like in nonsense words, as far as you know. And Niccolo Azario, the Lord Mayor's son, the third son, is walking in circles around the pentagram, as if this cleric of Asmodeus is walking around the pentagram, as if channeling something or trying to do something. Summoning some sort of power into Niccolo Alizario. And you watch this goes on for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes. And they're not fucking. This is not some opium addict in a prostitute's den.
Yeah, I mean that much. So, Boars, I guess, would wait until they wrap up.
Okay. This goes on for over an hour as she walks around the circle and he walks in the circle. And you can tell. Make a knowledge check to see what you know about this sort of magic. You definitely know some sort of ritual is going on. And this would be either religion or planes. Your religion is bad, and your planes is bad. Yeah. So you don't know what's going on. You can tell that she's definitely a priest of Asmodeus, and she's doing something. There's some sort of hell ritual going on here. And he looks pleased. You can tell that he looks visibly like empowered or strengthened by this. He's looking over and over again as if this is working and he's getting stronger. And every once in a while, the candles on all the different pentagram pieces begin they flare up. So you can tell that she's not just bullshitting. She's not like a snake oil salesman. She's walking around and doing some sort of infernal ritual, and it's working.
Yeah, I mean, Wars would see what the end result is, and once they're getting ready to head back out, he would slink away.
Okay. So that goes on for, like I said, over an hour, and once it's done, you can tell he looks at himself, and you can tell his muscles have grown larger. You watched him over the course of an hour, he's visibly swole as a result of this. You can tell it's not just she prayed and he's a better person. He is visibly stronger, and the blood is running down his chest, and they both walk into another room where you can't see.
Vors is gonna no fuck out of there.
So Vors sneaks back down, and your friends are waiting in an alleyway nearby. Are you going to talk to them, or are you just going to walk? You're just going to do Vors past them?
No, he's just gonna be like without really stopping. He's gonna be like, "I'm out of here. Let's go."
Okay. What happened?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
The barrister's not in there.
Did they quit?
They did not.
Oh.
All right. No. All right. We're gonna make money from them eventually, though.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Okay. I need money. And he's coming down from his Zerk high now because it's been an hour.
Yeah, you spent an hour. You definitely waited an hour. So yeah, so you're sitting in an alleyway, just fucking pumped on Zerk, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, what's gonna happen? And Vors is just looking at a window. He's creeping in a window the entire time, and you just sit there. That's what Bob and Dern do. They just sit there.
It's Dern and Silent Bob.
Dern and Silent Bob. There you go.
Dern normally wouldn't be okay with it, but he's come down from his high, so he's just tired and he wants to go home.
All right. So you guys finish your work. I have over here. I can reveal Nicola Alizario's flat over here with the A. And you're heading back to your Lawgiver's Rest. It's now 10 p.m.
Can we sync up with Iwan now, or she?
Well, is there Darren?
She comes in next morning. Sorry, what?
Darren, is there anywhere else where we could have found the barrister?
One more place.
Yeah.
It's the warehouse filled with halflings.
Why hadn't you told me about that before?
I thought I did. I don't know.
God damn it.
I don't know. I don't
Well,
think there's...
And presumably Nero would have made it over within the hour, right?
Yeah, so Nero ran away. Yeah, he ran away and came back. So during that hour, are you going back to try to find them, Nero, or would you just go back to the Lawgiver's Rest and wait for them? You muted, Nero.
Sorry, Nero would go to find them.
Okay. So you don't know where Nicola Alizario's flat is. Last time you met them, they were in... I don't remember where they were. Were they in the Triumph District? You were over
Somewhere there, yeah.
Yeah, so
It was in the alley, right? Because I thought...
Was Nero in the alley, or did you leave after...
No, not in the alley, but what is it? Trick Alley is where we went and got the drugs.
Okay, yes, correct. So you were in Trick Alley. So yeah, so you go back and you go over to Trick Alley. Are you asking around for Vors specifically, or how are you trying to find him? You walk in and don't see him.
Who?
Nero. Nero does not see Vors. If you go
Nero
back
has Nero has status on the boys, so he knows where they are.
You know where they are? Status works
He
like that?
has a sense of direction.
Fuck. Okay, so sure. So you walk back towards Trick Alley, and you're like, no, they're actually in the Five Favors district. So yeah, so you're walking along, and you stumble upon Bob and Dern in an alley, amped on Zerk, just looking in the direction of Vors.
Nero will basically gather the wayward children. You two, over here, now.
He's just been staring at them make koi for the past hour. And I'm coming down from my high, Nero.
The fuck are you doing?
He runs over with his sword, just like flailing around.
Put that away.
Okay. What are we doing? What do you mean, what are we doing? What are you doing?
You two, with me. Now, let's get out of here. What the hell are you doing? You're making a scene.
I don't know. He told us to stand here.
Nero will cast Restoration on the both of them, ruining their high and canceling out the effect of the drugs.
Joke's on you. It was over anyway.
Oh, man. Yeah, he just told us to stand here, man. I'm happy to leave. He's been
Let's
just
go down
standing
the
there.
street. He can catch up with us. Let's go down the street. Get your shit together.
Let's go, let's go. That was getting bad. That Zerkai was just boring as shit.
So again, you were amped up, like you were expecting something, like you get an initiative bonus. So you were expecting something to happen. You were ready for something to happen, and nothing happened for an hour.
Told
And
you
then
not to
Nero
take
showed
it.
up like right at the end of the high and just like waves it away, like just Jedi mind tricks it away. Like no, you're not high. What are you talking
I
about?
told him not to do it.
So again,
He
you
promised-
just went there for like
I'm
almost
sure you were
a
a
full
great.
hour.
I'm sure you're a great influence on him. Let's
He promised me money.
Who?
Voris said if we stood here, we'd get money.
Thank you.
You literally
let's go.
cannot, under the law, you cannot own anything. Literally cannot own anything.
It's a fact.
If anyone offers you money, don't take it. You give it to one of us because you cannot own it. It belongs to your owner.
That's a fact.
I can give it to you. I think I can trust you.
Many things I am trustworthy as one of them.
Do you have more Zerk too, or no?
No,
Okay,
get out of
okay.
here.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
So you guys walk down the street, and then Vor shortly after kind of wraps up, and we'll say he catches up with you.
That's when we'll say, hey, what did you do? What did you see?
Whatever they've done to this one has made him a child. This one's been a child ever since we've known him. What are you doing leaving them on the street thinking they're not going to ruin whatever you have going on?
Bob represents that statement.
Dern does too. Dern does too. The Bob Dern take.
I'm still trying to figure out what they've done to him. But let's get the hell out of here and we can talk about it on the way back.
Do we want to check out the warehouse with halflings or no?
Yeah.
And Dern unfurls his map and points written warehouse with halflings. And points there.
What are we doing here?
We were looking for the barrister.
And fill me in on why we think she's here.
Just where we followed Forrest to.
Vor's is here now. Vor's is in the conversation.
I know.
Dern, how'd you find out she was down there?
The first day I followed her all over, and then some kid told me there was a warehouse with halflings, and I checked it out, and yeah, it was filled with them.
Dern, you have no reason to believe she was here. You followed Vor's to believe she was here.
Where, the warehouse?
No, the place you're at right now, the Nicola Alizari's flat. Did you Vor's tell him that you were finding the barrister here? Is that true, or am I misremembering?
Forrest tried to lie to him and couldn't lie, and
Yes.
basically told him something that was true but was misleading.
Correct. So Dern believes that the barrister is here, that Vor's is still on the hunt for the barrister, but he is not. But he told you enough of the truth that you believe him, but she's not here. You have no reason to believe she's here, other than the fact that Vor's told you.
Okay, well, yeah, Dern just turns to Nero and says, well, I don't know, here we are. What do you want to do? I gotta find this lady. Maybe not now, but should we go home now?
What's the purpose of finding this? Like, has Nero been filled in on this at all?
What is
Let's
there?
just say I fill you in now. I'll just
Okay.
fill him in now. Just say,
Because
hey,
we
like,
fill you in
there's this
when
lady.
you were walking. What's the deal with her? She's an abolitionist.
She's an abolitionist. She belongs to the Bellflower Network, which is a well-known throughout Cheliak's network. It was believed that it was eradicated in Nagorian for a long time, but it appears as though a new cell has opened up. So basically, they believe in like slaves should be free, especially halfling slaves, which are like essentially halflings are slaves. Like it is an exception to the rule to be a halfling who is not a slave in Cheliax. So primarily they free halflings, but they free all kinds of slaves. Yes. So what does Dern say?
Yeah, there's this lady who frees the slaves and lost their tricks. Kind of has a resemblance to you. Told me to follow her, so I did, and I followed her to a bar. I followed her to a circle, to a sales market, to a market, and then to the warehouse.
Fine. I find slavery distasteful, but it is the law.
It is the law.
It is. All right. So again, it's like 9:30 p.m. and where are you guys headed out? You're heading to the warehouse with halflings that Dern knows about.
Should we maybe wait until we have Iwan with us?
Yeah. Does Voris fill Nero in on the on what he was doing outside of Bob and Dirt?
Yeah, I mean, like as soon as he has a moment away from Bob and Dern, he would ask him like what was going on and describe to him like what he saw.
Okay. So yeah, let's walk by the warehouse and head back, and we'll try to divine what he can about what you're talking about.
Okay. So you're trying to go to the warehouse and then back home.
We're just gonna get the lay of the land, figure out where it is, and then scoot. Yeah.
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 I'll show the party where I looked in and stuff.
Yeah, so Dern very clearly knows where it is. So Dern is able to take you towards the warehouse full of halflings. And he does. So again, it's late at night, so there's pretty much nothing going on in the town other than what you guys were doing. So you walk around, and Dern he points out. He doesn't, and he's not subtle, but he's not overly like, oh, hey, this is the place where I saw. Yeah, he's a little more subtle than that. So he points out this warehouse where he believes halflings were. He didn't go in himself. He questioned a youth and claimed that there were several halflings in a warehouse, a dusty old warehouse here.
In there, right?
He questioned a youth, in quotes, yes.
Didn't I peek in?
I don't think you did you? Joe doesn't remember it. Does Sharon remember?
I think I would have verified it. Yeah.
I don't believe that happened. I feel like that didn't happen. I think you asked him a question and you did not stick your nose in the building.
No, didn't I see their naked bodies? Their half naked.
There were
bodies?
no naked bodies. I'm gonna go with no because there were certainly not naked slaves. They're not naked halflings in the building. So if you believe they were naked, you saw something else somewhere else.
Well, there's people in there now.
Are you going into the building?
No.
Okay, so
I just went
Dern
up
walks
and
over,
lights on and shit.
and he basically gestures to the building. This is the building I saw the street urchin walk into. So there was a child who walked in this building that Dern later accosted and grilled for a while, and got the fact that he wanted this building. He was paid by the barrister to walk into this building and tell them that they were being followed, and that was it. And he claims that there were several halflings inside the building. Anybody doing anything?
No, Nero will just give the building the eyeball and see if it looks like anyone's in there at this hour, and then scoot. Fires in the windows, whatever.
Well, it's a warehouse, so there aren't a whole lot of windows inside. It's basically like a storehouse for goods. So you walk around and you find there are no windows on the outside, and the door is closed. So you walk around and don't find anything either way, basically.
Let's go back.
All right. You guys head back to Lawgiver's Rest.
Vor should probably head back to Sethic's restaurant.
Okay. I'm gonna take a quick bio. So we got like 45 minutes left, so I'm gonna take a quick bio, and then yes, we can pick up there. So everybody else is heading back to the Lawgiver's Rest, and you're sneaking off to go to Sethic's. Is anybody going?
No, you tell Nero that he's going.
Has anybody else dealt with Sethic, or has it only been Vors? I feel like it's only been Vors. Am I wrong?
Probably.
He's
Not
the only
bad,
one who's
dude.
talked to him. Like, we've seen him. We were in the temple when Vors did the talking, but I don't think
That's
any of
true.
the rest of us actually interacted with them.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Vors, what do you say to the party? So you've got Dern and Vors. I'm sorry, Dern and Nero and Bob, and you say what?
Vor's just quietly say to Nero, I've got to go talk to Sethic. And be like, we put these two to bed. They clearly need some rest.
All right, keep the shenanigans low so we don't rouse any more attention.
I'm just going to go maybe have a drink. That's my shenanigans tonight.
That sounds perfect.
Okay. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Everybody else can take 2 minutes if you ever go to the bathroom, and then get right there. Okay.
So, how are things up in Buffalo?
Man, we're not quite on quarantine. It's coming. They've got like 3 or 4 confirmed cases, so we've been just sort of laying low.
Yeah.
We went to a restaurant we really like and just picked up some takeout yesterday, and that was about it.
Nice.
Had
You
a
saw,
very chill weekend.
what's that?
Had a very chill weekend.
Good. You saw the the article that I posted about Newsom, closing down bars and restaurants in California.
He's
Yeah.
recommended
yeah.
it. It's not like the law, is it?
Yeah.
He said it'd be nice if you all shut down. He didn't say it's legally required that you shut down.
New York is going to legally require the thing shut down. Everybody complained very loudly, oh, we need to work from home because we can't be on the subway, and then everyone's going to brunch.
Yeah.
My sister saw a near fist fight on the subway because some lady who's obviously got a mental defect was openly coughing and not covering her mouth.
Yeah.
And somebody gave her a hard time about covering her mouth, and she started to cough on him on purpose.
That's
Mm.
And so the
problematic.
dude knocked her out.
Yeah. I can understand either side of that. That's It's messed up.
Mentally
All
ill people in the subway. It's sort of the way it is.
All right, so Iwin's not back yet, but Iwin's not even here yet. So again, I hope we get to Iwin before the end of the session. So yeah, so Vors, you're heading back to Sethix. So again, it's late at night. You go to Lazarix, and he is there. It's kind of like his command in his headquarters. So you get there, and he is there. It is late, but what do you do?
Go in with an eyebrow raised.
Which one?
His lower unibrow.
His lower unibrow. And what? So you walk in there, and he's still in the kitchen, and he's got like this basically a desk in the kitchen, and Bist and Mr. Thorpe are still there. And you walk in, and he's less angry than he was earlier in the day, but you can tell that he's still like visibly frustrated. Like the fact that like this happened to him, that he's so down on his luck, and then this like Lavasvia did this to him so brazenly. He's kind of still furious about it. So you walk in, and then what?
Be like, yo, you told me it was some shit, but not what you were saying. I'm not sure where you get your intel, but he's not doing opium and hookers.
Looks at you and again flustered, like, what do you mean? What is he doing?
He had like a priestess of Asmodeus, like casting spells and fucking pumping them up. Dude's full of shit now.
He shakes his head, like, what do you mean? A priestess of Asmodeus visited him and did what?
Some sort of ritual that took over an hour. I was bored out of my fucking mind.
That's Joe laughing. That's not Paraduke laughing. Yeah. So he looks confused. Like, what? What? He's like, no. He's an opium addict. No.
No, he's not.
He shakes his head. Says, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't heard anything about that.
Well, then you need some better informants, because that's what I saw not saw.
And he shakes his head again and says, you said it was all a number for you, so what is it? You saw what he's doing. What's the number? What does this cost?
Kill him? Or make it look like an accident?
Both.
Well, it's going to cost a lot more. I don't know.
Why?
Chris is real. Alright, this is Chris talking, not Wars. Chris really wants to say it's going to cost 5,000 gold just to fuck with him.
How much?
Chris wants to say it costs 65,000 gold to fuck with him. That's how that he just lost.
That is a very large number, and the fact that he basically had a loan coming in for that would seem like it's an astronomical number to ask for. Like, so for whatever reason, Paraduke Sethic needed 65,000 gold, and he was denied it. Jeff wasn't here for that. So yeah, he basically had a loan coming in, and it was stolen from him. It was 65,000 gold. So asking him for that much money is absurd, because he definitely doesn't have it. Yeah.
That's why Chris wants to ask for it.
Okay,
but
fair
Boris
enough.
doesn't.
I want Chris to know that would be an absurd number to ask for. So what does Vors do?
I mean, it's not so much like money I'm looking for, but
he's already angry. He says, "You said it was all dollars. You said it was all dollars and cents. It was money to you. It was gold. What is the price?"
I never said anything about money. I said everything has its price.
You can tell he's frustrated, but he's listening.
Is money the only thing that has value?
He shakes his head. He says, "Then what?"
I don't know yet, but at some point I'm going to need to ask a favor.
He mulls that over for a minute, and you can tell that it pains him to owe somebody anything. But after a while, like after a few moments, he convalesces and says, Fine, a favor. Would you do this?
Yeah, I wouldn't be like saying that I would do it for a favor and then be a cock tease. Like, I'll do it.
He nods, and again, he's very like begrudgingly accepting this, but he nods and says, Fine, whatever, yes.
Right. Vor's is going to have to do some more recon.
Okay.
I mean, what's going on?
Sorry, what?
What does Nero think was going on after he described it to him? Or Vor's described it to him.
You had some time walking back, so yeah. So Nero, you can describe what. So Vors tell him what you think you saw, and then Nero tell him what you think it is.
I don't know. He was standing in the middle. He had an upside down pentagram carved into his chest or his abdomen, and she was talking gibberish while walking in a circle for over an hour.
That is an accurate statement of what Vors saw. So Nero gets to make a Nero check, and he did, with a penalty because it's basically hearsay of what Vors saw. And let me click on what was actually happening. Correct. All right. Nero rolled. Nero rolls, and Nero rolled very well because he's Nero. You got a 4.
Huzzah!
Fuck you. Rolling a 4. So based on what he described and what you've heard, basically, you believe that she was infusing infernal energy to him. So she was basically summoning the power of devils, not to come and assist him, but to infuse his very essence, like to basically add their soul energy into his soul energy. So he's becoming more and more powerful in whatever he is doing. You know nothing about what Niccolo Alizario is doing in his life, but whatever they're doing, it's now infused with an infernal energy. With like these souls from hell are being infused into him.
Have you told Nero what the plan is yet, or just that you saw this and you're asking his opinion on it?
The latter.
Okay. Yeah. So Nero will basically hearken to some sort of ritual that other Hell Knights have done, basically to have hellish power. Sounds like he's trying to bolster his power.
How long does that usually last?
I mean, depends on the deal. Usually, I mean, imagine you want money or influence like a devil does, and someone offers it to you, and time is irrelevant to you. You could offer it for the person's whole life. What do you care?
That's accurate.
Okay, fair. I mean,
So, or it could be a time thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a lot of power, but for a very short time. Hard to say without actually seeing it.
So, are they more private?
Sorry?
Are Vors and Nero somewhere private?
Vors and Nero, at this point, you're walking towards Sethix, so you're nearby, and Vors and Dern are close enough. But yeah, you can be kind of secretive, and they can make perception checks if they want to hear. But go ahead.
Like Vors would whisper to Nero, like basically like Sethik wants him dead. And he wants it to look like Lavaskia did it.
Vors and Dern and Bob, throw me perception checks to see if you hear the whispering. Nope.
I don't know that I want to be involved with this. I don't know that I want to know anything more.
Dern does hear this. So you're walking with Bob and you're talking about your Zerkai, and you do hear Vors mention that Sethik wants this guy dead. He said him. You don't know who him is because Dern still believes he's following the barrister. He doesn't understand what's going on, but he says Sethik wants this guy dead. So I don't know if you know who Sethik is or this guy is.
I have no idea, but I think Dern realizes that he's been taken advantage of here.
Yeah, it appears to Dern that definitely this is not what he thought was happening. Correct. Yeah, go ahead.
But Dern carries on because Nero's around.
All right.
He trusts that Nero's leading him in the right direction.
It's a lot of trust.
I can offer you advice and support, but I don't know that I can offer you more than that.
That's fair.
We'll talk about it. We'll think about it. I'll think about something I might be able to do for you. So anyway, yeah, long story short, he's bolstering his power.
Correct. All right.
Yeah. All right.
So then Voraz goes to Sethix, and the rest of the party goes back to Lawgiver's Rest. You have the conversation with Sethic, and presumably head back to Lawgiver's Rest.
I would. I would just. Yeah.
All right. And everybody goes to sleep there, presumably. So it's late at night. By the time you get there, it's already like 10:30 or 11.
All right.
The bar has pretty much died down. There's always somebody there. It's not like it's empty, because there's a bunch of Thrune agents just kind of hanging out at the bar waiting for the queen to tell them something. So there's always somebody drinking at the bar, but primarily it's empty. Here's the Lawgiver's Rest map. Boom. But assuming you guys retreat to your rooms and sleep, Monday morning comes. So again, this is now Monday, and let me look at my notes so I can make sure I get this right. It is now Monday. Wednesday is the rave. Demi Baron Calvalderic's party is on Wednesday, which is the rave. And on Saturday, you believe the Hellfire Ball is happening, which is like the social event of the season. And on Friday of this week, the scribes will be done copying the books that you spared no expense, as per Dern. The Zabub running that job has basically told you by Friday they will be completely done copying all of the books. And it is now Monday morning, and Iwin pops into being in Igorian.
Into a room, specifically.
Correct. Well, yeah, wherever you want, as long as you can visualize the space. So yes. So into her room, Iwin that morning shows up. Who's doing what?
Does she have roommates?
No, everybody has their own room here.
No.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, so she's still super paranoid from what happened, right? Her powerful wizard friend Taeon couldn't break her curse, and she still has it.
That is correct.
So basically, she's gonna spend the whole morning like driving herself kind of mad, being like, I've got to break this curse, or I've got to like decipher these books, because I think if I do that, then and I return them, then this thing will be broken. So she's like going back and forth, like driving herself nuts, trying to figure out which one she can do first. So she's like thumbing through the books and being like, this isn't fast enough, and then trying to learn how to break basically like trying to repeat what Talon did, and just like bouncing back and forth into this like madness between the two. So Joe, you can figure out like she'll be doing some more hours of skim.
Yep.
Maybe let's say like another 2, so she's up to 14 on them. And then we'll basically start. She'll be like, no, fuck this. I'm just gonna break this curse myself.
Yeah. That's basically where she gets. So you begin skimming, and you're flipping through the books, and you feel like there's so much here, even with the enhanced understanding you get through skim. You do believe that like there's so much here that you're not going to just crack this code in a couple of hours. So you flip through the books for a while, and you realize this isn't going to work. And then you start thinking, like, maybe I should just try to break the spell. Maybe I should just try. So what spell did you learn? So basically, you watched Taeon try to break your curse several times, and what spell did you, Iwin, learn as a result of that?
I took Break Enchantment.
All right.
Ooh.
That's more powerful than what he was doing. So yes, okay. So basically, you realize this isn't going to work. You spend a bunch of hours in the morning, people are still sleeping, and you're paranoid about what's going on. So go ahead and make a couple of checks if you want.
Okay, well, I think I get... Right, because I used the level 5 to teleport back this morning, so
Correct.
I have 3 left. And I think, just to be a good sport, since I'm doing something I'm probably not supposed to be doing here, I'll burn a hero point to do it as well.
So a +8 on the
This
roll.
is something that's super important to her, so I'm just gonna do it.
All right.
So yeah.
So 1d20
So
plus
plus-
caster level +8
Okay, so 1d20 plus 11.
+8, so +19.
Okay.
Oh wow, you rolled a 3. So no, you fail to dispel the spell. So you think on it really hard, and you begin casting break enchantments. And well, maybe confirm because DC's 11 plus caster level of the effect. So the person's thing doesn't matter at all. Yes, you still fail. So yeah, so you spend a whole like an hour of your time thinking on it and praying on it, and you still fail. You still feel like this curse is upon you.
Okay. Well, that kind of works thematically because then that would drive her back to the books.
So you begin skimming the books. So again, you teleport here early in the morning, and you spend a bunch of time in the books, and you try to break the enchantment, and you go back to the books. And you're flipping through them, and you're gaining a significant understanding. So you do believe a lot of the stuff that you believe Visperthul was doing. So based on what you heard from the angel, the guardian at your cell, and based on what you've read in the books, you do believe that Visperthul was somehow overriding things that were passing through the gate. He was basically stamping his seal on their faces and somehow totally controlling them. So you're reading this and you're understanding he's doing this. He somehow is doing this, and you're gaining a little bit of insight into how it's going on. But there's so much. It's not just like, oh yeah, you do X, Y, Z and it works. There's so much involved. There's so much like intricate play involved. Like when the thing is coming, you have to do this, this, and that. That you spend a whole bunch of time. But you believe you're getting progress, but you're not feeling like you're there yet. And you can make another attempt at the spell if you like, the break enchantment if you want.
Yeah, so basically at this point, she's seen Taeon fail. She's trying to read these books. It's not like she's not making progress. She failed. So she goes back to the book. She failed. She's like still just, it's a slog, and basically it's just kind of like she throws like a tantrum, She's like I can't be cursed by this. Like I'm never going to succeed, like but basically in her usual way, after throwing the tantrum, she kind of regathers herself and is like no, these fuckers can't get the best of me. Like I'm gonna do this. I can do this. So she'll give it another try. So now this is 1d20 plus 11 again, right?
Yes, if you're not using hero point, and that is still a failure. So, despite all of your positive thinking, and they can't do this to me. This can't happen to me. You struggle, and you feel again. You're casting the magic on you, and you feel pieces of it like coming off. You feel like it's a weight being lifted off your chest, lifting off your shoulders. But as you're unweaving it, you feel how heavy it actually is. It's not just like some other spellcaster has put this upon you. Like this angel is acting on the orders of its god. You feel the weight of Iomade herself upon you, and you're unweaving this and lifting this off and trying to just shirk this giant weight, and it collapses upon you again, and you cannot get it off you.
So I think given what you described, like feeling that she was pretty close, and feeling like this is even closer to like Iomade than just some random caster.
Yes.
She would feel even more determined to like beat it. She'd be like, I can't have this on me anymore. Like I'm better than this. I'm better than these people. I'm better than whatever put this on me. Like I'm gonna get it. So she'll take her last shot before maybe going into the books again.
Okay.
Consistent.
No. Yeah, so again, you take your last shot, and again, you feel basically the same thing you felt before. Like again, you feel like it's beginning to lift off of you, but there's so much weight. This is so much more than you could even comprehend, and as you're lifting it off you, you feel it again collapse upon you. So you're unweaving this magic, but there's just so much power. Like, and you feel it, you notice it, and you sense the same sort of thing that you assumes Tealon sensed. Because when he tried to dispel this off you, he asked you, who did this to you? What did this to you? And you feel the same sort of thing, the same sort of, like, fear that this is not just something else. This is not just an angel marking you. This is huge. This is heavy. And you feel that weight upon you, and you just fail. You fail to remove it from you.
So I think probably at this point, Iwan would go into the corner of her room and just weep for a bit.
Okay. So this is still early morning, assuming you teleported as early as you could. So everybody else...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this would... I don't know. I think this would probably be... Because she spent 2 hours doing the books. She probably would have taken her time trying to do, you know, like with each one of these, especially as she's gotten further and further in, knowing how hard it was going to be. I think she would, like, take her time to prep to do it.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that this is probably like 9 or 10 at this point in the morning.
So the rest of you are awake, and she's in her room, and when you cast a spell, you have to speak at a normal speaking volume.
Right.
So, assuming you're in your room, you hear Iwan speaking abracadabra words in her room.
Where is she relative? Oh,
Sorry?
she's across the hall from me?
All of you are nearby. You're all, like, in these, like, 6 rooms. I don't have it specific, but basically, yeah, you're all in these 6-ish rooms.
I'm going to peek over. Stern is nosy.
There are doors, despite the fact there aren't doors on the map. Like, there are doors, so her door is closed, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's in her room, and you do hear Iwan's voice speaking magic words.
After the second time and I hear her frustration, I'll be like, is everything okay?
Yeah, I can't be seen right now.
Okay. And Dern gets like, he blushes and runs away. And I'll run off to the bar.
Okay. So yeah, so the bar is kind of always open. They don't serve breakfast here, like I told you before. They only serve a dinner. But Mr. Aelith is there, and is usually some sort of servant around. They don't serve breakfast. You have to find breakfast elsewhere. But it is kind of there. You can get booze if you really wanted it in the morning.
I'm not looking for booze.
Alright, so Iwan tries and fails several times in her room. Anybody else doing anything? Should I hear Iwan casting spells in her room? Presumably
Or weeping.
Or weeping.
That's because that's where she's at now. Yeah.
So Nero will tap on the door and she's weeping.
Alright, Nero approaches as she's weeping.
Does he announce
You
himself
alright?
or just a nod?
He tapped on the door. Are you all right?
So, recognizing that the voice is Nero's, she kind of like takes a second to wipe away all the tears and like gather herself. So she's not all gonna stutter or anything. Then she goes and opens the door for Nero.
Hey.
And you can probably tell, by the way, that like she's not in the same state as after the Cointa thing, but she's like gonna clearly be pretty worn down.
Welcome back. What's going on?
She'll be like, "Come in."
We'll come in.
And she'll close the door behind him, and then she'll basically say, "So, the other night when we were in the jail, getting the tieflings out, I felt almost like when I was trying to cast, I felt almost like I couldn't, like something was trying to stop me, and I heard that." So she had described previously to Nero that with the Planetar angel in the pit. So she'd be like, and I heard that angel's voice in my head telling me no, like not that I couldn't cast this spell.
No.
She'd be like, so I figured something was wrong, and I went to Talon yesterday because he's the most powerful person I know, to get whatever this is off of me, and he tried a lot, and he couldn't do it. He tried a lot, and he couldn't do it. So I came back, and I was helping him, and I kind of like figured out what he was doing. So I've been trying myself this morning, and I feel like I'm close, but I it's really powerful. Whatever it is, I just can't shake it. But I can't have it on me anymore.
And I assume you've exhausted everything you can do.
At least for today. I mean, I can try again a bunch tomorrow, but I'm trying hard, and I don't know. I just feel like it's not. I don't know what to do anymore.
What does it sound like to Nero, Joe?
You made a knowledge check. Or are you spacing out while you're listening to this?
No. Yeah, no.
You didn't roll exceptionally well, so you're pretty sure she sounds like she's cursed. Like, so you don't understand what's going on. Like, the fact that she's describing it as strong as she is doesn't make sense to you. But she sounds like she's cursed, for sure.
And is a curse something that spell magic would work on?
I don't think so, but let me check.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But I figured I'd ask.
Good question. No, yeah, you don't believe the spell magic would work on it.
Just as point of fact, Nero's analytical nature, he casts the spell magic on her just to see what sort of resistance he runs into magically. And when it doesn't hit anything at all,
Yeah, so you cast detect magic and dispel magic, and you can definitely tell there's some sort of abjuration magic on her. There's some sort of changing magic upon her, and you cast the spell magic, and it doesn't wash away at all. No matter what, you didn't even have to roll it. So no matter how, regardless of how well you roll, there's some sort of abjuration curse magic upon her, and it's not removed by the spell magic.
interesting. What's interesting to me is that you tried to remove it. Did it push back against you when you tried to remove it?
So she'll describe that, like, I was like tearing, and I felt like I could get pieces of it off, but as I would pull here, it would come back here, and I'd push, and like every time it's like every time I tried to like get it, it just collapsed back on me.
Nero will cut her off at some point and will say, no, what I mean is, you mentioned that a voice told you not to cast when you were casting before. Did that happen when you tried to break it? When you were casting this, did you hear the voice? Did the voice try to stop you?
I didn't announce it before, but yeah, I'm going to go with it and say yeah. So basically, as you felt the weight crushing down on you, as you were moving it away, you felt like you were doing good, you were doing the right sort of work, and then it all comes crashing down upon you, and you just heard over and over again, "No."
So then she would say, yes, every time I tried to do it. It wasn't like it stopped me at first, but when I finally got overwhelmed and it collapsed back on me, it scolded me, I guess.
All right. I mean, we could get a scroll and I could give it a whirl. We could try some other things. But for now, I think we're sort of stuck. We might have to wait until tomorrow. Is this going to hamper you terribly?
So, Joe, you can tell me if this is true, but I'll say it as if, because I think it is. It's only affected me when I've tried to do stuff that, against the Glorious Reclamation, or things that I guess Iomade would care about. So I don't know that I don't know that it's going to stop me from doing anything here, but I also don't know what else it's doing. It could be watching what I'm doing. Like I don't I feel like I'm compromised, and I'm not going anywhere until I beat this and get this away. I'm like
There's magic that we can know if someone's watching you or misdirect if somebody's watching you. There's definitely magic we can do that with. But let's get breakfast. Let's regroup, and we'll figure out where we're headed after that. Let me fill you in on what we've been doing, and we'll give you the rundown of the whole shamazel.
shouldn't we find out if somebody's watching me first? Do we really want them knowing all of this? I don't want to. We have important things to do against them. I don't want them knowing what. I don't know. I don't want them knowing what we're building.
That's
I have
fair
things I
enough.
can do. I'll be okay, but until I break this, until I just nothing else matters to me. I have to get this to go.
All right. The church might be a good place to do that.
Everything you said, Jeff, is correct. Iwin believes everything you've said.
Okay.
I don't know what scrying. Would scrying be something that could be detected?
I don't think so. Let me see.
I don't even know if this is possible. By the way, this is just Iwin being super paranoid.
Yeah. No, it's
Like
but
Jeff,
don't know
Jeff does
either.
not know if it's possible,
Yeah,
but
Nero doesn't believe that scrying would be a thing that could be detected. No, if they have a means to scrying you, like if they have a piece of your person, like if they stole some of your hair or whatever, for example, and they scryed on you, it would not be a thing that's actively like. There's not an aura on you as a result of them scrying.
Okay. We should definitely get you. There's arcane spells that'll block that for days at a time.
It's true.
We should get you a scroll. You can copy it into your book and at least prepare it.
Iwin will nod. That's wise. Yep. Yeah, and she'll kind of like, I'm just not thinking straight right now. But you're right. Let's do it. Can you get it and bring it to me?
Sure.
Yeah, within Agorian, again, this is the capital city of the Empire. There's tons of merchants everywhere. You can definitely get a scroll of non-detection or whatever spell you're thinking of. Like,
Detect scrying.
sure.
Or non-detection. I didn't even think about that.
Well, I don't know what the correct anti-divination spells are. But
Non-detection is spell too. Yeah, but we'll figure it out in the off time.
Yeah, we'll do that between sessions. So yeah, so there's certainly whatever spell you want, it exists, especially because you guys have a connection to the Temple of Asmodeus. There's definitely divine scrolls out the wazoo for you guys. All right. So we've got 10 minutes left. I don't know what we're gonna do. So it's morning. It's Monday morning, and as I told you, there is a party on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hooray.
So what is the deal with what Alazario's doing? Is it against the law? Probably not.
You're asking Joe?
Yes.
No, nothing again he's done is against the law.
Is the ritual he's doing something that Nero thinks you could overload and make him go pop?
Do it.
No, not particularly. No. So whatever he's doing, he doesn't. Nero. What did you roll? You rolled numbers, right?
40.
You rolled a 40. That's right. And you said you were spacing out, so it's actually a 60, despite the.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, you rolled a 60. So no, you're pretty sure he can't pop. No, you don't think this is something that Nero could like interfere with and kind of weave into explosion. No. But she's definitely going around and like she's infusing infernal energy and souls into him. Like there are definitely there's something going on where she's making a deal with Asmodeus or someone else to infuse the souls of others into the third son of the Lord Mayor of Igorian.
Okay. Okay. And we'll get in. I'll get into it more with you during the off time about like whether Nero knows who she is, that sort of stuff. Probably.
Make another knowledge check.
Sure.
Well, again, you didn't see her. It was described through Vors. So Vors, also make a knowledge check. That's a great question. Does Vors have any idea who this woman is? That's a fantastic question.
How does Vors see?
Vors is blind, but he has like an echolocation thing, and it's through a wall. So it's through a window. So I don't know if echolocation works through a window. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. So Vors' knowledge local. He rolled local. Bleh. He rolled a 26. Is that good enough to know who this woman is? It is. You think she is Nyla Melkoth. So she is not just a priest of Asmodeus to you, Vors. You believe that she is Nyla Melkoth, who is a member of a fairly low-level noble family in Igorian. But still, she's a notable person. Nyla Melkoth is not nobody. So she is cavorting around with this person, with the Nikolai Lazario, and they disappeared into another room to do who knows what. You still believe there may be coitus at play, despite the ritual you observed.
Coitus then ritual.
Yeah, and so they're two fairly powerful noble families in Igorian. They're not like top-tier noble families, but they are the Lord Mayor and a lower noble family are cavorting around in this space. And Vors presumably conveys that to Nero.
Okay.
All right, we have 5 minutes. Anybody want to do anything else? It's Monday morning. Bob! What is Bob doing? It seems like Bob's doing nothing for like 5, 7, 10 sessions in a row. What
That's
is Bob doing?
not even remotely true. Bob
What
had
is Bob-
a
what
great
is
session,
what
like
is
3
driving
sessions.
Robert L. Zub?
What do you mean? What is driving him?
What is he
the
doing?
brain in his bone?
What causes him to exist? What does he do? Does he just wake up every day and just respond to the things that's happening to him?
To be fair, we haven't slept in some time.
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
Like session wise, we haven't slept in a long
No,
time.
they were just asleep right now. You just woke up. Robert
Yeah, I know.
L. Zub.
Hi.
What does he do? What compels him to exist? Does he just to respond to things that happens to him every day? Is that all he does?
Yeah, Bob's a reactionary, not a visionary.
I see. That's sad. Poor Robert. Dern, what's up? So again, you followed Vors around. He claimed to be working towards your goals. He claimed to be working towards finding the barrister. But the barrister stood him up, and he started following some other guy and another woman who walked into a place. And he ran away from it. He ran up to a roof. And you just did Zerk in the alleyway with your friend Bob.
Darren wakes up the next day and realizes that Vors may not be the right man for the job, so he goes to Nero and says, "Hey, I'm still looking for this lady, and my friend or my colleague failed at it, so can you help me?"
Is Bob within earshot of this right now?
I mean, it's morning. You're all kind of in the same area, so yes.
Bob needs to react.
I mean, why can't I come help?
Yeah, my bro Bob here too. Bob, call on.
Oh, all right.
I take it.
Now that
I
everyone's
take it.
together again, I think we could.
I'm down for
something
excluding
like that.
Vors.
I'm down for excluding Vors.
Bob, I don't think that's the right thing we're doing here. We need to be successful, you know.
Oh, okay. I'm still down.
Nero, what do we do? What do we do here?
I think we figure out whether she's going there. I think Vors makes contact with her at work today, and we figure out whether that's a spot where she's headed or has been headed. And Vors will have good input on this, and I think that's something we can definitely do today.
What do you think the point of all this is? Why am I put on this mission?
It sounds to me like you're rooting out abolitionists, which would not only be good for business, but would be good for getting us noticed in the capital in terms of getting an audience with the Queen.
If that's important to you, then I'm in. But this is literally the worst thing I've ever done. That anyone's ever told me to do is follow someone around and not kill them. It's crazy. It's been like 3 days.
What exactly did they do to you?
What do you mean? And he runs off. He giggles and hee and he runs off. And I run into the bar area.
We're going to talk about this.
So again, you walk into the bar area, and it's not like it's a fully populated bar. I know there's a lot of people there on the tokens are there, but that's mostly for the dinner and after scene. So you walk there in the morning, and no one's serving breakfast, and no one is expecting breakfast. And basically, you have a bunch of Thrun agents who are stationed here who just get drunk at night and are waiting for something to happen. And you guys have been here for officially a week today, and the Queen has given no orders. She summoned you all here and basically made a big deal, like, everybody get here, we need to figure out what the fuck is going on. And nothing has happened. So they're basically just getting drunk every night and waiting for the thing to happen. The thing. Whatever the thing is. They're waiting for it to happen, and nothing has happened yet.
I'll moves with the room and see if anyone wants to get breakfast.
Make a diplomacy check.
Oh, come on, Darren.
Come on, Dern.
Yeah, Darren.
Yeah. So you make contact, and we'll say that this half-elf rogue and this cleric of Asmodeus wants to get drinks with you. Yes. Or wants to get
Breakfast.
with you.
I hope they don't want to drink in the morning.
I mean, whatever, right? Where did I put the rogue? But yeah, sure. So rogue and cleric want to get breakfast with you.
All right, let's do it. I'll tell Nero. Hey, I'm going to go for breakfast. If you need me, come and just let me know.
Hey, if you want to get this done, don't go too far, all right? Come on back shortly.
Yeah, no problem. We're just going for hell pig sliders.
Hell pig sliders.
What are the hell they're called?
All right, I'll make a book specifically of hell pig sliders.
I'm a demon. I need that for breakfast.
All right, so we're done for the night. That's the last thing I'm gonna take a note on. So it's midnight. We're done. So Dern is talking to a bunch of people at the bar, basically getting a bunch of people interested in hell pig sliders. He's gonna have a rogue and a cleric interested in hell pig sliders. Everybody else doing anything? Anybody? What's Bob doing? What's Bob up to? Bob, Robert.
I mean, I'm down for some hell pig sliders.
You're down for hell pig sliders? You coming?
Can I get a double hell pig slide? Like, can I just get like a full size cheeseburger, like a big hell pig?
I mean, you can pay money for hell pig, yes. Like
Alright.
it's literally 100 gold per serving.
Is there like a demon cheese I can get on there too, or something?
I'm not aware of demon cheese. I will investigate demon cheese.
Thank you.
So Nero would want to do something with Vors in terms of like figuring out where this barrister is, what's going on, rooting that out.
Do you have questions you want to ask now, or do you want to ask them on Discord later?
I'll just ask them on Discord. It's not a big deal, but like finding out where she is, finding out what's going on, also finding out what we can about this this ritual, whatever stuff that's going on, how we mess that up. But
Okay. All right. Vors,
I had a break.
what are you doing? You wake up. What are you doing? Nero asked you a couple questions. What are you doing?
Just be having breakfast.
Just be having breakfast. Just going out finding some breakfast. All right. Iwin spends her morning casting and crying.
That's, not so uncommon.
I think that's everybody. All right. So so we're over time. So hit me with morals and MVPs. What do we got for?
Got a lot of morals here today, boys.
Hit me, bro.
Well, his days are numbered anyway. So, or, all right. Well, I've got something at 5.
That was pretty good.
I owe my life to one of them, and the other, he's fucking weird. He retires there to do opium and prostitutes. What's the Pathfinder term for car fentanyl? Joe doesn't know enough about drugs. What time of year is it? Yeah, I don't want to do all that math. Bob Dern, spring break. Yes, they would coit. And Boris is gonna watch.
Oh, these are all
He's-
fantastic.
He's visibly swole.
He
Dern,
is.
Dern and Silent Bob. Bob represents that statement. Dude's swole as shit now. Some sort of ritual that took over an hour. I was bored out of my mind. You got a 40, fuck you. You still believe there may be coitus at play.
It's true.
That's my vote. He's quite a set play.
What do you think the moral is? Vote give me a /gem / whatever you think it is. And also, who is the most valuable player?
Iwan.
What did Iwan do? I hate you guys.
She really sat there
I
and
failed like 3 times.
heroically. She said.
Heroically failed.
You did
Heroic.
sell the fail, and I did enjoy the tears. Vors was driving the action today, which was pretty good. Yeah, I do enjoy Dern avoiding his own backstory.
Oh, damn it, I forgot to give a shout out to our YouTube followers.
Go ahead. It's the time.
No, it had to happen in the bio to be done right.
Bijo and Kish and
If anybody out there wants to do the math on what season it actually is,
That would be huge.
that would be huge.
If you want to tell me that I've already told them it was summer, that would be hilarious.
You said
Yeah.
spring.
You
I
did say
know.
spring.
I said it was spring this session.
This summer.
But like, I might have
Could be summer
told you
tomorrow.
it was summer
We-
or
we-
winter.
We have no idea how long a year is in this game either.
It's the normal calendar. They have stupid day names, but I don't care about them. They call like Wednesday Oath Day and stuff, but I don't do that.
You're breaking my immersion.
I know, I'm ruining Pathfinder for you. I apologize in advance.
The MVP is Iwan, for sure. That's my vote.
I
The
think Vors was good too. And I, of course,
Yes.
vote for Nero.
Wars is good.
Does Iwan need to be MVP? Is that what I'm missing here?
Shut up! Stop
that's-
doing
no.
that! I will stop doing MVPs entirely if that's how you do it.
No, that's not happening.
I will kill you all. I swear.
I vote for Vors today.
God. Then Nero's the MVP, if that's accurate. Wait a minute.
Fuck Nero, he yelled at me.
Fucking Nero, he yelled at me. Hold on. Let me see. So, yeah.
That could be the moral for every single one.
Nero, Iwan, Dern.
Turn.
Yeah, but Nero voted for 2 people. Nero, I hate you. Why do you vote for yourself and also Dern?
Because I always vote for myself.
But you gotta pick one. Is it you or is it Dern?
Let's say it's Dern.
Alright, then Iwan wins MVP.
Yay.
Damn it, I should have voted for myself.
You should have.
Always vote for Nero.
Alright, and the MVP is I think it's the coitus one, but I don't know the actual text of it. So what channel is it actually in? What is
It's
the
in
actual
Morals.
text? It's in Morals.
You still believe there may be coitus at play.
You still believe there may be coitus at
That-
play. Alright, that is the actual moral of the session. So let me Control-C copy that. Moral for session 52 is...
So, Jeff, I didn't bring it up because we were out of time, but Nero can cast Legend Lore, which is basically like I get to look at a ton of stuff about you because you are legendary enough that the spell matters for you. It would give him a lot of insight into what's going on, but it will also give him a lot of like hard look into what your character has done in the past. So I don't know if that's something Iwan would be interested in.
Or would Iwan know that that's what would happen?
I mean, Nero would tell her that that's what would happen.
He would basically get to watch
Well,
your
how far back-
entire history.
Oh, really?
I think so.
That's pretty
Yeah,
badass.
I'll send you the spell.
It's not just since you became legendary. It's basically like you are such an interesting person that he can look back at your entire history. And
Like in broad strokes, or in like every detail. Like he would know Iwan like she knows herself.
I would think so. I have to look it up. I'm looking at the spell now, but I don't fully understand that he knows.
And does he know only what she's done, or does he also know what she's thought?
I think it's what you've done. He doesn't understand you as you. He basically just views the thing you've done as far as I am aware. Is that wrong, Nero?
So it would be like a fly on the wall, like watching her whole life, basically.
Legend lore brings to your mind legends about an important person, place, or thing. It just gives me very detailed information about you historically. It's very vague as a spell. It's kind of funny because it's like basically a caveat, like, "Hey, do you want me to know about this, GM?"
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, agreed.
And I kind of hate the way they've written the spell because it's like, all right, well, what do I know about it? Well, we want to keep it vague because we don't want to ruin your game with this.
Agreed. It's very interesting because once you reach this level, you could cast this on every big bad evil guy that comes your way, and know everything they've thought or whatever the GM wants you to think. But the answer is you're now important enough that he could know something about your history at some level.
I mean, so the other piece of this is like, does he need permission?
No, but
Like he's being nice, but he doesn't need permission. He could just do it.
That's true. But he is asking.
So now Iwan has to worry about 2 spies.
Well, why would he tell you about it if he was going to do it anyway?
Well, no, not that he would do it anyway, but she has to think about whether, I don't know. That's a tough call. Let me think about that in between the next session, like how she would actually receive that, because there's still stuff that she's hiding from him. So she's like specifically not told him stuff, some stuff.
Fair enough. All right. Anything else for the end of the session before this recording is still going? So anything else you guys want to do before I wrap it up? I wins MVP. Moral is you believe there may still be coitus at play. No. All right.
Cool.
Fine.